in the final. I don't remember anymore. I think it was Michigan State. Anyway, because Michael Jordan was getting in the elevator, so I was not allowed to ride in it.
Yeah.
Charles Oakley came in and said, "You need to leave." I'm like, "What?" Mm-hmm. You need to get out of the elevator.
Excuse you?
And I got out of the elevator, and in comes Jordan. Julius Peppers was with them.
Love him.
And Oakley, in a very, very sharp suit and a bowler hat, he looked great. But it was like Odd Job. I'm not allowed to be around Goldfinger, so get out of the elevator. That's what Ashley did to Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Get out.
Priorities.
And then, so Ashley's over here. She's filming something. I don't know what she's doing. You come in wearing your Raye shirt.
I know.
So,
I don't know if maybe YouTube people, maybe if it's going to work. I don't know if the camera is going to work. I guess it's not going to work today. I don't know. Oh,
there it is.
go.
It's random.
there
it is. But, on the camera, it's...
Raye. You can't really see it.
Isn't it backwards? It's backwards.
It says
No,
Friday,
it's not. It's not. It says Friday. There you go.
Yeah.
I get it. Happy Friday. Do you have a hump day?
It's on the list.
That would be.
I gotta work on that.
That might be an
one.
HR violation right there.
Yeah, I know. I gotta be careful with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. Unless I have like Mike the Camel on it, because that would be
right.
I mean, if you remember the
Mike,
commercial.
Mike.
Yeah.
I love that. Still, we need that. We need to bring that back. Man, we do have a lot. It is the calm. We still don't even know when the series is going to start. It won't start tomorrow. Nope. We would know if it was going to start tomorrow. And I think it really will depend on what happens with St. Louis and Winnipeg tonight, whether or not the series starts Sunday. If St. Louis doesn't beat Winnipeg tonight, then there's no game on Sunday, and I can't imagine we're going to have a Sunday without Stanley Cup playoff hockey.
Yeah.
Because you have at least one network that wants it. Probably both networks might want it. We do have a Game 7 on Saturday night, Colorado in Dallas. Mikko Rantanen had an amazing second period. So did Roope Hintz. They combined for 8 points in the second period. Dallas scored 4 goals. Mm-hmm. Colorado scored...
Natchez got a goal.
Martin Natchez played a really good game last night. Best game I've seen him play in the playoffs. I've watched a lot of Colorado-Dallas. For obvious reasons, we want to see Natchez play. That series is always going to be amazing anyway. I've also enjoyed Jack Drury. But Natchez played a really good game last night. Mm-hmm. Colorado piled up a bunch of goals in the third period, too, because Dallas led 4-3 after 2. Colorado scored a couple of empty net goals late, but they came back and win that game and force a Game 7. So that'll be Saturday. That's the only game on the schedule Saturday. Sunday, we've only got the possibility of Winnipeg and St. Louis in a Game 7. And I don't know, maybe that'll be the only game on Sunday, but I get the feeling that there's going to be a Game 1 in the Eastern Conference also on Sunday. And if we do have a Game 7 on Sunday, and this is 100% guessing because nobody's got any information. The team, I couldn't pry information out of them anyway, but they legitimately do not know because nobody does. But I'm guessing that if we do have a Game 7, they will start one Eastern series of the two. It's either Carolina, Washington, or Florida, Toronto. They'll start one of those series on Sunday. I think it is more likely that it is Carolina-Washington simply because they played. Carolina last played Tuesday, Washington last played Wednesday. And Toronto played last night. I think it's more likely that they give Toronto an extra day than it is Carolina or Washington. But again, it's a guess.
Yeah, who
knows? We have no clue. So before we do anything else, we might as well start this thing. All right, and we'll start with some Carolina Hurricanes stuff. If we go back to round 1, and we have been saying this all year, and we're going to talk to Tripp Tracy later on, this is not anything that anybody else couldn't have told you. Carolina has been a really good team all year without Andrei Svechnikov offering a lot. We all understood this was a really down year for Svechnikov. Sebastian Aho hasn't had quite the offensive impact that he has had in the past. His numbers, first year in a while that he's under a point per game. Just under it, but he's under a point per game. But in the playoffs, and Aho has been outstanding through the 5-game win over the Devils. But we got good Andre. And here's what happens. Good Andre takes the Hurricanes to a different place. Rod Brindamore on flipping the switch.
Both teams, I watched. I'm glad he feels that way. This is the time of year where you need everyone, but obviously certain players that have that unique game, if you will, have to shine, and they have to, like I say, be on the score sheet, have to be impactful in the game, in the series, whatever it is, and clearly special is, and we need him to continue to do that.
He's been amazing. He had 5 goals in the series. Yes, one of them was an empty netter, but I said this after Game 4, Carolina's win. Everybody was going gaga over the hat trick. And I could explain away all 3 goals that they were really the product of somebody else's work. The first goal that Andre scored in that game was from, it should really not go, except for the screen that Jackson Blake provided in front with 2 New Jersey defenders. So Jacob Markstrom really didn't see it. Oh, it's good that Andre put it on net, but he just wheeled and, he spun around and whipped it at the goal. The second goal, the power play goal, was really a great shot pass by Jarvis, a deceptive play that forced Markstrom to think it was a shot and come out and challenge, which left the entire net open behind him. Svechnikov was behind him, and it was a really good finish. I'm not taking anything away, but it was the play that was made by Jarvis that led to that goal. And then the empty net goal, which, frankly, Jackson Blake could have taken, but he wanted Andre to get the hat trick. So, boom, that's the hat trick. But that wasn't why Andre was good in that game. Andre was good in that game was because he shot the puck a lot, he delivered 5 hits, and he was otherwise exactly what you want him to be. He is a chaos agent when he is playing his game, and that was the best part of Andre's game in Game 4. And he brought that to Game 5. The hits were there, the shots on goal were there. I think he had 9 shots on goal, which is, I think, a career high for him. But I think he had 14 attempts. He and Aho both attempted 14 shots in the game. And they're playing on the same line, by the way, now. So it was the other stuff that Andre did that made Andre so good. All right, now Rod talked about the Capitals, who are obviously really good. They had the best point total in the Eastern Conference, and they are, along with Florida, the most physical team left.
Both teams, I watched enough about them too that there's a reason they're a good team and one of the best this year is that they don't give you games. You got to earn them, and so I don't envision that they're going to be taking extra penalties. That's just not how you win. So yeah, it's going to be a physical series. We understand that. It's playoffs, and we expect that. And but I don't expect a lot of unnecessary penalties.
All right, Shane Gostisbehere also had a good opening series against the Devils, and he looks ahead to what makes Washington so good.
I think it's a balance of their veteran presence they have, the new guys they got, and they got great coaching as well, and it's a great mix of probably leadership too. Obviously Ovi with his goal chase, and that brings a group together, and then having team success as well. It just tumbles all into one good thing, and they wasn't just like they were flash in a pan thing. They did it consistently all year, and we know that as a group. And I think for us to go against them, we just got to play our game, and it's just going to be 2 really good teams going at it.
Yeah, I mean, I still can't believe Carolina is the betting favorite in this series without home ice advantage. Okay, they could win. Carolina could win the series. I'm not in any way saying that it's going to be a huge upset if Carolina wins. but I wouldn't consider it an upset if Washington wins either. I think the points earned during the regular season tell us something. Also, if you've watched Washington, they are a team that plays a way that traditionally has given Carolina some trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, they are super big and very physical.
And this team has history, and that, whether they want to say it or not, comes into play sometimes.
Yeah, no question about it. We're going to talk to Grant Paulsen from 106.7 The Fan in D.C. We'll get his take on the series and what has turned it around for the Capitals. Nobody expected this out of Washington this year. I think there are a lot of people who thought they could be a playoff team, but to win the conference, have the best record in the conference, that is an incredible job. And honestly, they are a very, very good team. Before we get to basketball, Frederik Andersen was back at practice today. My anticipation is, whether it's Sunday or Monday or Tuesday, I don't know, he will be the Game 1 starter. And based on what we saw, I would anticipate Andersen playing every game unless he stops being good. Like, we saw Kochetkov, and I think that Rod might not want to see that again. Just to put it that way. To put it that way, might not want to see that again. Carolina survived a double overtime Game 5 without needing Kochetkov to really bail them out. I'm not saying he didn't make a couple of saves. He made a couple of nice saves. Yeah, it'll be Freddie until Freddie proves it can't be Freddie. Whether it's by injury or his play falls off, it'll be Freddie. And even if his play falls off, it might still be Freddie. Also, Sebastian Aho and Eric Robinson were both not on the ice today. Aho, personal reasons. Robinson was undisclosed. Remember, his wife just had a baby, so it is possible that Rod just gave them both days off. Maybe Aho, I don't know, had to go to the DMV. I have no clue. Really don't know. It just says personal reasons. So they did not practice. Jack Roslovic took Aho's place on the top line, and Tyson Jost filled in for Robinson on the fourth line. What that tells me, we will have no changes to the Game 1 lineup, barring something else happening. Because if we were going to have changes to that, we would have seen different configurations. Instead, Roslovic is a placeholder. Jost is a placeholder. I am not against Tyson Jost drawing into the playoffs at all. I love the way he plays. The way he plays fits playoff hockey. But right now, barring an injury, there's just no way to get him in the lineup. Just no way. A couple of things from last night. We had 4 games last night, all Game 6s. Thinking, wow, we might get 4 Game 7s on Saturday. Spoiler alert, we didn't. We get one. Only one of the 4 made it to a Game 7, Colorado and Dallas. The Oilers won 4 straight. They graduated to the second round with a 6-4 win. Boy, did the LA Kings folded like a cheap suit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
What a total capitulation. Now, I'm not even going to argue because it probably is the case. They blew a Game 1 lead, remember, but they ended up winning Game 1. Edmonton now in the back of their mind, oh, man, we can score goals. We can score goals. LA won Game 2 comfortably. These games were in LA. They went to Edmonton. LA had a lead.
Yeah.
Right? Edmonton comes back, ties it, third period, and who's it? Jim Hiller is the coach of the Kings. Challenged it for goaltender interference, lost the challenge. Edmonton goes on the power play, scores within 9 seconds. Edmonton has the lead. Edmonton wins the game. Game 4. LA leads 3-1. Well, we got about 6 or 7 minutes left, something like that. I don't know exactly how much was left in the game. LA is looking to go ahead 3-1 in the series. And they just sat back and tried to absorb Edmonton's push. What are you doing? Edmonton is bad defensively. Put your foot on the freaking gas and get out of here. Because if you sit back to that team, you have no chance. None. McDavid and Draisaitl will play forever. They will play 30 of 60 minutes.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I know.
So LA loses that game in overtime. Right? I think they put Edmonton on the power play in overtime. It's never going to work. So you lose game 4. Then you lose game 5. Edmonton goes down to LA and beats you in game 5. And that game was a goal fest. It was 2-2 after 6 minutes last night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nutty. Mm-hmm. It was a defense optional Thursday in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Just like the Avs and Stars.
Yes.
Something in the water.
Edmonton led 3-2 after 1, 4-2 after 2, and won it 6-4.
Mm-hmm.
Well done, LA.
Yeah.
So much for having this great defense, goaltending, blah, blah, blah. You played scared.
Yeah. During one of the intermissions, they showed the guys after losing game 7 in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Oilers, and like how sad they were. And I just thought they probably play that every single time they're like losing a game. Remember this moment.
Yeah.
Don't do that again.
I still don't think Edmonton is great. I think
No.
Vegas is going to beat him. But, man, LA, this was your time.
Yeah.
This was your opportunity. The way you played down. Anyway,
it.
bye. That is the way that LA lost the series. No good. Credit to the Oilers, though. Vegas moved on. Vegas is Vegas, man. They're just so good. They have probably the best defensive core in the NHL. I say probably. I can't think of anybody that even comes close to them. They've got top pair defensemen like really on the third pair. They're just so deep. Jack Eichel, Mark
So
Stone, Shea Theodore each had a goal and an assist in the win over Minnesota last night. They shut down their the Wild's top line. They shut down Kaprizov and Boldy. Remember I said they were each going to have at least 2 points? Mm-hmm. Nothing.
I hate can't say Capri Sun. I always change people's name. Kaprizov is Capri Sun for
That's
me,
very
and now
nice.
I can't say it.
I actually never even thought about it until just now, and now I'll never stop being able to think about it.
You're welcome.
And then Toronto beat Ottawa last night. Toronto won 4-2, and Toronto was the better team, and they were the better team last night. Brady Tkachuk took one of, in my opinion, the dumbest penalties I have seen in the playoffs. So there's no goals in the game. We're pretty late in the first period, and I think it was Brandon Carlo. It's about 2 seconds after Carlo gets rid of the puck. Maybe not quite 2 seconds, but it's at least a full second. And Tkachuk could have veered off and looked like he was going to, and then went, you know what? I'm just going to hit him. Interference. Toronto scores on the power play. Even though Brady Tkachuk got the goal back late, and actually in the next period, Toronto was already ahead 2-0. Now you're chasing the game, and those are the kind of penalties that get you bounced out of the playoffs. Ottawa, stay in it as long as you want. Eventually, Toronto will lemon booty. That's what they do.
All the time.
You allowed them the freedom of a lead. That was a bad decision by Brady Tkachuk. And again, Toronto, Florida. It should be a fun series. Florida in... We'll say Florida in 6
Okay.
in that series.
Yeah.
But I think they could end that series quicker.
Yeah, I could see 5.
I could see them winning Game 5 in Toronto. Florida,
Yeah.
best team.
Scary.
Best team. Real quick, NBA playoffs last night. Clippers at home beat the Nuggets. I was not staying awake for that. I stayed awake long enough to watch the third period of Dallas and Colorado. I was not watching the NBA game at that point. Ty Lue, Clippers head coach, they forced Game 7 back in Denver. He feels good about it.
That they were positive. They were positive and understood that, the series could have been 3-2 our way easily, and so just staying the course. They're a really good team. They have 5 starters, 4 of the starters returning, been there for like 4 or 5 years. They won a championship, and they know how to play. And so, coming out, game 5 at their place, they were really aggressive. I thought Joker really led the charge with Jamal Murray. Stepped up and having 43. But I thought early on Joker was aggressive. Then that opened everything up with Jamal Murray. And so we just got to stay the course. Game 7 is going to be tough, but we're ready for the challenge.
All right, that was Ty Lue, the head coach of the Clippers. I did watch the end of Knicks Pistons. I watched like the last 6 minutes of that game. The Knicks run one play. One play. They are unwatchable. I know we have Knicks fans out there. We have Knicks fans in this building. I have great friends who are Knicks fans. I'd like to see him win, but I'm not crazy about it anymore. Unwatchable. Jalen Brunson is the only player who shoots the ball. It's it. In the fourth quarter, every stinking play. Jalen Brunson pounding the ball into the court, backing somebody down, trying to make a shot. It's a good thing he's good at it. 40 points last night and the game-winning 3.
Just found a way to create some separation. Shot it a little earlier than I wanted to, but Sarr is just a great defender, man. And just the fact that I got that much space, I had to shoot it right there. Happy to ball one in.
Didn't hit rim at all. Geographic center of the hoop. It was a great shot. He is referring to Asar Thompson, who is awesome defensively. Awesome. Brunson made a great play. It was a crossover dribble, and Thompson tried to beat him to the spot on the wing, so he overplayed it, and Brunson goes back to the top of the key. He had a ton of room, but Asar Thompson is a legit defender. If you are a Pistons fan, they are one more star player away. One more star player away from being legit. Cunningham is legit. Thompson is a great tool to have. He's a great defender. I think Jalen Durham is a really good player too. One more star. Boy, that team was fun. I'm sorry that we're not going to see the Pistons play anymore, but they would have played the Celtics, and the Celtics would have beat them in less than 4. Celtics, Knicks, maybe that goes 6. Maybe. But Boston's going to punk New York. All right, when we come back, North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame will welcome in Jimmy Raye. You have heard us talk about him before. He is a central figure in the integration of college football, not so much here in North Carolina, although he's from Fayetteville, but at Michigan State. Jimmy Raye going into the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame way too late. Next.
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Let's go! It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Aho now to Jarvis. Jarvis, go get the Giants goal!
Let's go, Canes!
Kochetkov, stop! It's on the goal line behind him! He does a snow angel in the paint!
Go, Canes!
Playoff hockey in Raleigh is something that you can't describe, and it's because of you. So we want to be here.
The Canes' road to the Stanley Cup runs through us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
This Cinco de Mayo weekend, let's keep our community safe from drunk driving. If you celebrate a little too much, use a rideshare or designated driver. Amigos don't let amigos drive drunk. Think before you drink. From your friends at 99.9 The Fan and Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
A few contest rules from sports radio stations The Fan, The Buzz. No purchase necessary, 21 to enter and play. Limited to 1 entry per person and 1 prize winner per family or household per contest every 30 days. Employees of Capital Broadcasting, its agencies, sponsors, subsidiaries, other broadcast companies, and immediate families of the above are ineligible to play. Winners are verified, complete documentation, and are responsible for all taxes and prizes received. All prizes are non-transferable and cannot be redeemed for cash. Winners give Sports Radio the right to publicize his or her name, likeness, or voice. Sports may change contest rules and prizes at any time and holds no liability for canceled or postponed events. Complete info of Sports Radio contests available at WRALSportsFan.com. or during normal business hours at 3100 Highwoods Boulevard in Raleigh.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-371-0505. 800-371-0505.
This is Adam Gold.
Victoria, you played sports in high school, right?
Oh, yeah. Basketball, and I swam.
Could you imagine competing for $1 million?
No.
$1 million.
No. I competed for plastic trophies.
I was also a high school athlete, baseball player. No, and I could never even imagine it.
No.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame opens its doors this weekend in Greensboro, and among a pretty stacked group going in is Jimmy Raye, Fayetteville native, played at, I believe, E.E. Smith in Fayetteville, and became the starting quarterback at Michigan State under Duffy Daugherty, that played the first integrated college football game in the South in North Carolina. And he joins us on the Adam Gold Show. First of all, Mr. Hall of Famer, thank you so much for the time. How are you?
I'm great, Adam. Thank you. How are you?
Things are wonderful. It's great to speak with you. Talk to me about playing even high school ball in the state of North Carolina in an era where it was not necessarily integrated everywhere.
Well, it was very special. E. Smith High School in Fayetteville was a very special place. It had a great tradition and a winning program under Coach D.T. Carter and D.S. Kelly. And fortunately for me, I played quarterback on some good teams, won a lot of games, and we got a lot of recognition in the black community, but not much in the white community.
Jimmy Raye is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Everybody understands, Jackie Robinson and what he did and what Branch Rickey did. Explain to us what Duffy Daugherty, Michigan State's head coach, was all about, and maybe some of the pushback he kind of felt that he might have gotten for recruiting so many black players to come and play at Michigan State, because that really was the impetus for integration of college football.
It was, and Duffy was. I'm forever indebted to him for my athletic career and success. Duffy was a very courageous coach and person. He had an affinity for talent, and he recruited down south when we didn't have an opportunity to go to integrated schools down south. And his vision and courage of bringing black athletes to Michigan State for education and sports was way ahead of its time. It took a lot of courage to play a fully integrated team in the mid '60s, and it took a lot of courage to have two black co-captains, George Webster and Clinton Jones, and a black quarterback. So, as I said, he made an indelible mark on my career and my presence, and I'm all of us that were played during that time. I think helped change the landscape of college football from a position standpoint and from an integration of team, a fully integrated team standpoint.
Yeah, several, maybe almost a decade before Bear Bryant discovered that, right? Like I know I talked to Tom Shanahan a lot, and whether Bear Bryant is given credit for integrating college football or not, I know it bothers Tom Shanahan, who, by the way, wrote the book with you, Ray of Light, with the foreword by Tony Dungy. But he's also written The Right Thing to Do. So this is an issue, and there's going to be a documentary about this coming out, Game Changers of the Century, and I can't wait to see that. He sent me a trailer. It looks like it's going to be amazing. But you guys played in the first integrated game in North Carolina in 1964 in Michigan State.
That's true. And Clinton Jones was, I think, the first black player to score a touchdown in Kenan Stadium in 1964. We did, and our Duffy's ties to North Carolina go all the way to NC State. Errol Edwards, who was a former assistant under Duffy, when we played North Carolina State in 1966.
Right.
It was the opening game of the season. That was a monumental game because they were the year before they had won the Atlantic Coast Conference, and it was our opening game, and we had some success in that game and beat them.
Jimmy Raye is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. A few more minutes. He's going into the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame this weekend. Now, you played that game in 1964. Now, you went to high school here, so this was in many ways a homecoming for you. How was your team received by fans in this area?
It was a homecoming game for me because I was from Fayetteville E. Smith High School, but it was well received. There was no complications.
Okay.
Or none that was detected. The players played the game and competed, and there was no altercations or no disturbances. and no unruly fans. And I think it was because we were Michigan State coming from the Midwest, and they welcome a chance to see North Carolina play a integrated school.
Yeah, and you guys were good, like legitimately good.
Yeah.
So when they announce your name tonight, what are you going to be? What's going to be going through your mind about your career, your time at Michigan State, what the state of North Carolina means to you?
Oh boy, there'll be a lot of emotion, I'm sure, and a lot of thought back on processes that going from a segregated environment in Fayetteville to Michigan State, and then from Michigan State coaching the professional football, NFL coaching, and all of the people that have had a hand in helping me along the way, and giving me encouragement, and the thought that probably the biggest thought is, I couldn't have imagined ever being at this point at 18 years old, growing up on Murchison Road in Fayetteville. It would be like a dream come true, like full circle. I think my mom and dad and the people that were my mentors in Fayetteville, I think it'll be very proud. Be a very proud moment.
Jimmy Raye, North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame, who survived 2 years as the offensive coordinator of the New York Jets. It's not easy.
Yeah, you could call it that. That was survival.
It's not easy. Man, I grew up a Jets fan. I know what the thing is, man. Congratulations. You have persevered at the highest level. Congratulations on induction. Long time coming. I appreciate your time. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you, Adam. It's a pleasure just speaking with you. Thank you.
You got it. Jimmy Raye here on the Adam Gold Show. And real quick, if you haven't read Ray of Light, it is a great, great read. And I know I've talked to Tom Shanahan a lot. His other book, The Right Thing to Do. And it bothers him that Bear Bryant is somehow given credit for integrating college football when it happened several years prior to that. And it wasn't at the impetus of, I think I have this right, I might not, of getting your brains beat in by Sam Cunningham and USC. It wasn't about, oh man, we can't beat them, so we have to get players like it. Duffy Daugherty did it first. Anyway, I hope you'll check out the books, or when the documentary comes out, and we're about a year away, I think, from seeing it, Game Changers of the Century. So thanks to Tom Shanahan for helping set it up. Thanks to Jimmy Raye. All right, when we come back, we've got one-timers. We have so much more coming up on the program. I am Adam Gold. This is the Adam Gold Show. That's what we call it that.
Making more sports sense than social media trolls. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Greensboro this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 20 different sports. The Body Armor State Games feature 11,000 athletes and 600 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. That's bodyarmorstategames.org. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Lowe's Foods, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
Did you know, along with keeping their local communities powered, public power line workers are part of a mutual aid network spanning the state and country? Public power crews help their neighbors when natural disasters damage electric systems. And that mutual aid network is one of the reasons public power has the highest reliability rating among energy providers, forming a camaraderie among line workers that's second to none. Interested in joining public power? Learn more about careers at electricities.com.
Are you living your best life? Do you know AARP North Carolina is working to make communities great for all ages? Help workers find easier ways to save, improve healthcare quality and access, and to protect important programs like Social Security and Medicare? Learn more about all that AARP is doing to help people of all ages by listening to AARP Without Limits. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Every day, people battling addiction suffer in silence. Because of stigma, they fear judgment. They fear being labeled, and too often, they don't get the help they need. But you can help change that. Join the Governor's Institute and be a superhero in the Overdose Battle campaign. Learn how to break the stigma, support those in need, and save lives. Visit governorsinstitute.org/superhero to get involved. Be a hero, fight stigma, save a life.
70 years ago, PBS North Carolina began its journey, and you, North Carolina, have been with us every step of the way. From the adventures of Mr. Rogers to the mysteries of Antiques Roadshow, from This Old House to NC Weekend, you've inspired us to keep going. Thanks to you, we've been able to expand beyond TV, touching lives in classrooms and on the go. Celebrate with us when you watch new programming on PBS NC or stream anytime on the free PBS app. Learn more about PBS North Carolina at pbsnc.org.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. There's a major shortage of mental health professionals, especially in rural areas. In our latest episode, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association, Dr. Joseph Pino of Devant Health tells us about an exciting new program that's expanding mental health care in eastern North Carolina. He explains the need, especially among military families.
Military families frequently face moves across the country, long deployments, and added stress that comes with military life. And those experiences can lead to anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and other mental health conditions. The stigma around mental health often prevents people from seeking care.
Join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Are you struggling with your Medicare drug costs? The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program may be able to help. The Extra Help and Medicare Savings programs are available for those who qualify, but you have to apply. Contact SHIP today to see if you qualify. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
This is Adam Gold.
But whenever you say, well, we're not using this as an excuse, no, you are. Whether it's justifiable or not can be a different discussion, but you are.
It's like the equivalent of saying no offense, but ...
Offense coming.
Yeah, get ready for it.
Look out. Here we come with some offense for you.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Canes Capitals. Top of the hour. Grant Paulsen. 106.7 The Fan in D.C. We have beef with, not with each other, with Washington. We have beef with Washington. But it's been a while. It's been a minute since we've seen Washington in the playoffs, and in fact, this is just the second series all time between these two franchises. The weird thing is that when it was the Southeast Division, I do think these were the two rivals. And we had Tampa, we had Florida, and at the time we had Atlanta was part of the old Southeast. And then Atlanta relocated to Winnipeg, and for 1 year, Winnipeg was in the Southeast Division. Not very Southeastern is Winnipeg. But Washington and Carolina were kind of rivals. Of course, Washington and Carolina really weren't all that good. Canes did win some. They were division champions in, were they division champions in 99? I think they won the division also in 01 when they lost to the Devils. I think they might have been division champions. Yeah, they were division champions in 2002 because they won their all 3 series that they won on the road in 2002 in Game 6. Game 6 in New Jersey, Game 6 in Montreal, Game 6 in Toronto, all on the road to advance to the Stanley Cup Finals. But they had home ice advantage. And once they won in the first round, I think Washington might have been ahead. I don't know. Washington wasn't ahead of them because Carolina won the division. But, yeah, the Hurricanes had home ice advantage over everybody. It was kind of wild. But to me, this would have been the rivalry. Now, I know Washington I don't think Washington looks at Carolina necessarily as, their big rival. And nowadays, I'm not sure Carolina looks at Washington as their big rival. But I'm not sure Carolina has a big rival, right? It's not like Canes. Like we hate the Rangers, but the Rangers don't look at Carolina as a rivalry. They don't. The Rangers it's more of a Northeast thing, whether it's Flyers, Islanders, Bruins. So it's a little bit more difficult to kind of nail down. Anyway, excited to see the Capitals in the playoffs. It's going to be a physical series. Washington will try to intimidate.
Of course.
That's what they're going to do. They're going to try and get Carolina off their game through intimidation. That is probably their biggest weapon.
Yeah.
They're good, but that is a weapon that they should use. If you were the head coach, you would tell them to do exactly the same thing.
And it's hard to forget what Ovechkin did to Svech a long time ago. So
right, and that has been misinterpreted as Andre wanted to go. No, he did not. I'm not sure anything was said. It just sort of happened, and Andre was not prepared to defend himself. And I'm not blaming Ovechkin. Fight is a fight. But it was not in any way, shape, or form Svechnikov going, let's go, buddy. Nope. That is not who Andre is. You can see how many times he has fought since. All right. We got the one-timers, right? It's one-time. It's the format of the show.
Yes. Okay, so kicking things off, this one's from Mike. He actually wants to know both of our opinions on this one. So who do you and Adam think will play the biggest role in the Canes getting past the Capitals for round 2? One player and one non-player. I've already got mine.
A non-player. All right. Well, if he wants both of ours, you go first.
Okay, so for me, the non-player would obviously be the fans because we rock the house when they come to Lenovo. Yes, that's why we're the best and the loudest house. But I feel like it's going to be somebody sneaky potentially because the Caps are going to know, let's look out for Aho, Jarvie, Svech. But I think if Martinook is on his game, that's going to he's going to be like the silent sniper.
Okay.
And he does amazing jobs on the ice.
Yeah, he does.
He can shoot a goal and protect.
A non-player to have the biggest impact, that's a very interesting question. I mean, I'll stay away from the obvious Rod Brindamore, and I will go Tim Gleason.
Yeah.
The penalty kill needs to be, again, amazing. That is the separator between these two teams. Washington's power play versus Carolina's penalty kill. I'll say it right now. Whichever unit wins that battle will probably win the series.
Yeah.
If Washington's power play is really good against Carolina in the series, Carolina's not going to win it. So, but if the Canes PK, look, you don't have to be 15 for 15. But if it's, 19 out of 22, I think that's pretty good. You can hold Washington to under 20% on the power play, I think you probably win the series. So I'll say Tim Gleason. As for a player, I am not going to overthink this. The player that makes Carolina a third-round playoff team is Andrei Svechnikov. Flat out, he is the guy. He is one of those who can take this team to another place. Play. I'm not worried about the goals. The goals will come. Play your game. Play your game. Get under their skin. Be a pest. Be physical. Don't try to be fancy. Don't give the puck away in your own end.
Yeah, please.
All right.
Exactly.
Those are my answers.
Well, this one, I love ones like these from Sawyer. He has a Canes-related one and then a personal one, and I love that. How would you line up the forwards for Game 1? Would you change anything from Game 5 in the Devils series? And then the personal questions are, how are your dogs doing?
My dogs or your dogs?
Maybe both. I don't know.
First, no, I wouldn't change anything. I like the way the lines looked at the end of the Devils series. And I don't know, maybe people know this, but Aileen and Jack and my older son, they're in California with Jack's soccer. So I'm home. I'm home with all of the animals.
Oh, wow.
Right. Not only I'm not solely caring for the horses. I have afternoon, evening help. So somebody else taking care of them in the evening. So I just got to do mornings. Dogs are great. Dogs are like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Because I'm here. They're used to me not being here.
Yeah.
They're not used to Aileen not being there.
Now it's reversed.
And we also, Earl found 2 duck eggs that he brought back to the house, did not damage them.
Still intact. Wow.
There are about to be ducks. And we are incubating them in the house.
Oh, wow. Didn't have that on the bingo card.
What?
Yeah.
So, yes, I am also caring for 2 duck eggs.
Oh, look at you. All kinds. It's crazy.
As Biff.
Oh, Biff, he's not a big fan. Once it gets over 75 degrees, because he's like a walking jacket.
Yeah, he's giant.
He's huge and fluffy. So once it gets over 75, he's like, yeah, don't like this. So,
staying in.
Yeah.
Be inside.
Yeah, so he stays in and watches a lot of porch TV, as
There
I
you
call
go.
it. Looks out the door, a.k.a.
Perfect.
So, next up, this one. What are the keys to victory in round 2? We showed we can be physical against New Jersey. Do we expect that to just carry over or ramp up?
You're going to have to be physical against Washington, otherwise you're going to get taken advantage of. Don't get bullied. Washington's going to try. When Washington takes liberties and goes to the penalty box, make them pay. Like New Jersey, Washington has a great penalty kill. I think they're 4th in the league on the PK. So, again, we have 2 great penalty kills, 1 great power play, and Carolina's been better lately, obviously. So that's got to continue. Don't get drawn into a game you're not playing. You're not used to playing. Play yours. Washington is not faster than Carolina. Make your speed count.
From the heels,
Touchdown, Carolina!
to the Canes,
She scores!
he covers it all. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
The draft tells me one thing for Bryce Young and the Panthers. It's put up or shut up time for the quarterback. They needed edge rushers. They needed safeties, corners, linebackers. So what did they do with the 8th overall pick? They got the number 1 wide receiver on their board. That is a message to Bryce. You better perform this year or else.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Marcy Bailey here to remind you that Mother's Day is right around the corner. Show your love and appreciation for Mom with something sparkly wrapped up in a Bailey box. We've curated an amazing Mother's Day gift guide with beautiful jewelry for every style and budget. Shoppable at BaileyBox.com. We also have all the top designers like David Yurman, Lagos, and Hippolyta, along with our highly sought-after Bailey's collections. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, voted best jeweler from the Triangle to the Coast.
Hello, Scott Forbes, head baseball coach, University of North Carolina. When it comes to choosing a dealership, I stick with Wilkinson, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. Growing up in Sanford, I've been fortunate to be lifelong friends with Will Wilkinson. My family and I have been buying and having our vehicles serviced at Wilkinson for many, many years. Great service, competitive prices, and most importantly, a place you can trust. Go where I go. Go see my longtime friend Will Wilkinson at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Creighton Blackwell here once again from Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Today we are at East Chapel Hill High School, and we're here to celebrate our newest Scholar Athlete of the Month, Isabel Woke.
I've been volunteering a lot with teaching kids how to swim, and I just really love getting back to this sport that has given me so much. And it's really just inspires me and motivates me to see other people getting in the water and really learning to enjoy it.
I think Isabel has an automatic natural ability to be a leader, and it's really actually impressive. And I think it's great because she has a lot of experience, and she's very humble and has a great personality and a great person to be around.
She is articulate, she is smart, she is empathetic, she is everything that you would hope most teenagers are.
So every once in a while you get lucky enough to meet a student who just operates in a different plane than the rest of us, and those students are the ones that make you wonder, what are they going to do later on in life? And she's one of those.
I'm so thankful for my coaches and my teammates and my parents who have just made this possible.
Congratulations, Isabel.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
If you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my friends.
For my community.
For everyone here. We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies us. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Now great work by Orlov. He'll fish it away. Here comes Martinook. He's got Stahl with him. Martinook up high. He scores! He continues to beat the devil. Jordan Martinook shorthanded. It's 2-1 Carolina. Martinook. He'll settle it down. He'll turn and hand it out. And here's a chance. Empty net. Bingo! Seth Jarvis. Take it away, Caniacs.
Martinook has been on it in a different galaxy. He dives in, turns a lost draw into a winning draw. Then protects the puck, allows Jarvis to rev it up, and puts this thing, in all likelihood, to bed.
Grant Paulsen from Grant and Danny on 106.7 The Fan in D.C. Well, you and I, maybe we'll have beef over the next couple of weeks. We got a series to play. Talk to me about what your listeners are saying about this team. This, I guess, at the beginning of the year, nobody really foresaw this coming, but what are your thoughts on where the Caps are right now?
Well, it's stunning, really, when you look at the macro view from 10,000 feet up. They are not supposed to have been, frankly, the best team in the Eastern Conference. In the regular season, they ran away and hid with the Metro, and they kind of ran away with the conference and sputtered a little bit down the stretch as they were hunting Alex Ovechkin's goals record and kind of didn't have much to play for. But the big fear going into the playoffs was they wouldn't be able to flip the switch and start playing their game again. And for the most part, they did. They took out Montreal in 5 games. I will say the Canadians were game. They were competitive. That's a really talented young team, and they made it difficult. That was not your typical 4-1 series. There was an overtime game in there. A couple of the lopsided games in terms of goal discrepancy were with empty netters at the end and in 1-goal games. But, they're on to round 2. First time since 2018. Of course, they led Carolina 3-2 in 2019 before losing that series. And, Caps fans, really from that moment on, as Carolina's become such a quality team in the division, having lost in the outdoor game, handily out there. Not just all of that, but some of the games over the years, including very recently here in April with the back and forth between the two clubs and the organizations. There's animus, and so it'll be a fun rivalry that gets reignited.
There's no question. I don't even know who Washington's rivalry would be with if it's not Carolina, and it's kind of weird because
the Penguins.
Yeah, because Ovechkin and Crosby, right?
Right.
Pittsburgh would think
that's
otherwise.
Still the number one rival, honestly, but Pittsburgh's been kind of out of sight, out of mind for a few years, oddly, and then this year completely fell off. So, in terms of competitive teams, I mean, you just got to play more in the postseason. This is only the second time the two teams have ever met in the playoffs, so that lowers the bar a little bit.
Yes,
I'd
it
say,
does.
Whereas Washington played the Penguins, seemed like annually in the spring, and was eliminated by the Penguins almost every single year.
And getting over on them in 18 was
exactly right.
What was the impetus for that whole playoff run? Grant Paulsen, Grant and Danny, 106.7 The Fan in D.C. Are you a little surprised, because I am, that Carolina is the favorite in this series? The betting favorite?
I've thought about that a lot. I got asked that a bunch in the last 48 hours. I would say no. They got points, I believe, in 3 of the 4 games against Washington this season. I can just tell you that my personal opinion is that the Capitals match up better, say, with, like, Florida, who might be the juggernaut in the conference, maybe if not Carolina, than they do the Canes. I think it's very comparable. Like, I think this is a 6-7 game series.
Mm-hmm.
It could absolutely go either way. I'm not scared of Carolina by any means, but I certainly think they can beat the Capitals in a series. It's hockey, and it's a stupid game played on ice, right? It's people fall, and there's bounces, and weird things happen. But look, you play 82 games. The Caps were the best team in hockey. They, as I said, ran away with the division. And you would think that would get you something. But I think it's a few things. I think, number one, it's their age. I think there's this expectation maybe that they'll wear down a little quicker than some teams with some of their key pieces. Right. John Carlson on the defensive end, I thought, really struggled in the Montreal series. Ovi never seems to slow down. He had 4 goals. But at some point, that would feel inevitable. Last year in 4 games against the Rangers, he didn't have a point. He was amazing against Montreal.
Yeah.
And some of their guys have just logged a lot of miles, whether it's Lars Eller, Tom Wilson, I thought was really good against Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
They've played a ton of playoff games over the years. So, maybe that's part of it. It could also be the history. They've got 1 cup in this era. They've got 1 conference finals appearance. So there's always this feeling like, that they're not going to give you their best shot. Maybe I don't really know. I'm trying to answer something that I don't necessarily believe, but I would say I would probably have the series as even money because the Caps are on home ice. If 7 games were played on neutral ice, I might have Carolina be a very, very minimal favorite.
Yeah, the whole thing is weird. Florida is a favorite even without home ice against Toronto. That makes more sense. Toronto has had many playoff failures, and Florida is only the third-place team in the Atlantic because they basically shut it down over the last month. I would say a lot of teams, Washington, Carolina, New Jersey, who was also broken but wasn't winning even, with a good enough team to win. I think a lot of these teams spent basically the month of April just sort of getting ready for the playoffs. Grant Paulsen from D.C. is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I want to ask you about Tom Wilson, because Wilson, over the last few years, has morphed from tough guy, borderline, I'm going to use this term lovingly, I promise you, goon, but who could play, to now great player with, again, I use this term lovingly, goonish tendencies, because there isn't a single team in the league that wouldn't want Tom Wilson. If you gave me Tom Wilson today, I would sprint to taking number 43 on my roster. He is such a good player. Where did that transition happen?
So first I will take issue with the word goon. I don't think he ever was one. And I appreciate. You understand how good he is, which is half the battle. I deal with Penguins fans and maniacs from every market that act like this guy's Ryan Reeves. And,
he's
legitimately
legitimately good player.
This is the best power forward in the sport unequivocally. He finally got power play time over the last couple of years, and his goals count ascended. He's a 30-goal scorer. And to your point, there are 30-plus GMs in the National Hockey League that would army crawl over hot coals to try to get Tom Wilson on their team, including in Carolina. He is so big and so physical. He doesn't really lose fights. He hits everything that moves. He's a big body in front of the cage on the power play. He's got good hands. He can skate. He's got good speed. He's a unicorn. I mean, there just aren't guys like him. They don't make them. You typically either are his size and just don't have the game to be a really talented, good top-line offensive player, or you have the skill and you just cannot be as physically imposing. He completely changed the series with his hit in the neutral zone
on William
against
Carrier.
Montreal in Game 4. They
outscored Alexander Carrier. That play led to the Duham goal. I was watching it. That was the play that changed the series. Changed the game, right?
Totally. But from that moment forward, I think that their discrepancy was 8-1 Capitals in the final couple of games of the series. So when you look at it that way, it's staggering just how big of an impact he has. He's also the most popular guy in the room year in and year out. He's beloved by his teammates. He won the Good Guy Award in the media. I mean, he's really a mensch, legitimately. So it's funny that he's hated everywhere. But we wouldn't have it any other way here. But, when did it happen? I think starting to get more power play time allowed him to be able to get some of the offensive totals that people start to think, well, wait a second, maybe he is pretty good. And then he's been able to finish on the rush as his career's gone on better than he did early on. He's also played a different style of hockey, which is where I'll meet you in the middle here. Again, I don't ever think he was a goon. I think he's one of the he is a guy that, when he does something, everyone acts like it's a bigger deal than when everyone else does. And it's a physical, violent sport, and he's bigger and stronger and faster than most guys are. So when he hits you, you're going to fall harder, and it's going to look worse. Has he ever had bad hits? Of course. It's a fast game. You make a lot of decisions. But by and large, I think the narrative about him is ridiculous. So I just think people have gotten wiser, largely, honestly. I think he certainly realizes that he can't live in the penalty box, that he's too important to the team to get baited by lesser players, which he did for a long time. And now he handles his business and fights every now and then when someone's got to answer the bell. But for the most part, he's a top 6 player they have to have on the ice because he's one of their best players every night.
There's no doubt about it. I don't disagree with anything you said. By the way, Justin Williams, who became a Hurricane again and is now in Carolina's front office.
Yeah, he's our guy,
and I have talked to Justin a lot about Tom. Loved him. Absolutely loved him as a teammate. And he recognizes he's a great player.
Gold, I bet you nobody that ever played for the team would have a negative word to say about him.
No, and Wilson is the type of player that opposing fans will always hate. And that's fair. Yeah. That's okay. I mean, honestly, that's the way it should be for a guy like Tom. He is a dynamite player. I'm just going to ask very nicely, leave Jackson Blake alone. And we're going to have to close it there. You want to give a prediction?
Yeah, I will say, I'm so excited about this series. I just think it's fun, the rivalry between the two organizations. Yeah. I think that my biggest beef on social media this year came with Canes fans. Every year I've got one.
So is mine, actually.
That's funny. But every year I have one of these. Like I had tweeted, I think Rod Brindamore acts like a complete goofball. He's a great coach, but he couldn't be more of a goose on the bench, chirping players and doing all the things he does. So I had tweeted about that at one point.
Yeah, I know. I saw you. Honestly, you could not be more incorrect about that, but that's fine. It's fine.
Well, I've seen it many times, so that's fine.
All right.
But so I tweeted about that, and for like a month thereafter, was still like people are responding like I tweeted it 2 minutes earlier, right?
Right.
But the interactions were going until the very end of the season. So it was just kind of funny because I was like, okay, this would be awesome if we get a playoff series out of this. The way that this fan base feels, and I've always thought he's one of the better coaches in the league. I just think he's a goose. But so it's going to be fun. I'm excited. Luckily, Warren Fogle can't cheap shot TJ Oshie this time to change the series, so that'll be nice. Because hearing that guy's name still makes me want to punch a hole in the wall.
I understand.
And hopefully none of your defensemen slam anybody's heads on the ice. But if everything works out swimmingly otherwise, it should be a fun series.
Oh, man.
But then again, Brandon Duhaime already beat his ass and handled that. So we should be okay, I think.
Such an aggrieved end to this conversation. My gosh, seriously, don't pick the fight.
Get the people.
That's fine.
I just want to get the people moving.
If Connor McMichael didn't want the smoke, he should not have picked the fight. And it wasn't.
No, I totally agree.
Right?
He doesn't fight, and he should have gotten beaten up. But what was done obviously doesn't get done in hockey fights. Everybody knows that.
No,
so
understood. But also, once the fight starts, we're not. You're not stopping it in the middle of the fight, and that was an unintentional move by Chatfield. They're just tussling. What happened. Nobody wanted to see that. But Connor McMichael,
I don't think he purposefully slammed anybody's head on the ice, but he did, and you got to answer for that, and he did. So it worked out. We're in a good place now. So let's play hockey.
Grant, you're the best, man. I appreciate your time. Grant Paulsen, 106.7 The Fan. We're gonna have to run this back.
Hey, I'll have you on. Let's go game by game with this thing.
You got it. Let's do it.
All right. See you, buddy.
It's great. Grant Paulsen, 106.7 The Fan in Washington.
I can't. He's got something bad to say about Rod.
Yeah, well,
he's on my list.
He's wrong about that, but that's fine. The Warren Fogle thing, I get it. What people don't understand is that Warren Fogle wasn't smart enough to know what he was doing.
Yeah.
That's just the truth about Fogle. He's a different player now. But at that point, he didn't know anything. He was just like a baby deer. All right, when we come back, Tripp Tracy will join us. Then after that, we're going to go inside the numbers on Alexander Ovechkin. Tripp Tracy next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. We're in the offseason, but it doesn't mean me and my co-host, WREL TV's Chris Lee, take a break from our podcast, Panthers Playbook. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Panthers news as training camp approaches, insights on the rookies, the free agents, and the surprises, plus all the insider info on the upcoming season. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcast or watch on YouTube.
Hear that? That's the sound of digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With instant wins, progressive jackpots, and bonus games right from your phone. It's nonstop chances to win like you've never seen or heard before.
Oh, yeah! Big money!
Visit nclottery.com to get in on the action. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom, and that's what we offer at Loan Pronto using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low fives, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Snakes, zombies, sharks, heights, speaking in public. The list of fears is endless. But while you're clutching your blanket in the dark, wondering if that sound in the hall was actually a footstep, the real danger is in your hand, when you're behind the wheel. And while you might think a great white shark is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Gold. Gold.
Because if interrupting is part of the talent, then she wins.
Giving an RBF face? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, everybody saw it.
I didn't say it.
That picture
did not say that.
When they were asking Bill and she interrupts him and they look at her, that's evil. I was waiting for the lights to come out of her pupils.
You're not wrong.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. As we sit here at 1:18 p.m. Eastern Time, I have no idea if it's standard or daylight. I apologize. I just say Eastern Time. We still do not know whether or not the Hurricanes and Capitals series, which will begin with games 1 and 2 in Washington, we don't know if it's going to begin Sunday or Monday, or heck, Tuesday. No clue. My guess is Sunday, but I have no information. I'm just guessing. We should know. I don't know. We might know after tonight's game with the Blues and the Jets. We know we have a Game 7 Saturday. We might not have a hockey game on Sunday, at least a scheduled one yet. That will depend on Winnipeg and St. Louis. That Game 7 would be Sunday evening. Tripp Tracy, your co-North Carolina Sportscaster of the Year, analyst, and now it will be Hurricanes radio since national TV takes over. We are just on the radio. Sir, how are your competitive juices in advance of Carolina-Washington?
Well, my competitive juices at the moment, I was just talking to the great Victoria. I just got back from practice, and I need those juices because I'm right on the fence, AG, as to whether or not I'm going to the gym or I'm continuing my binge on Friday Night Lights 20 years late.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, but anyways, I just got back from a good practice, and you know, with the holding pattern as to, which I do agree with you, is probably determined by if the Blues can extend their series with the Jets to 7 as to when it starts. And, you know, the good news is that you know, the Caps and the Canes, whenever it does start, they're both going to be on the same level playing field with regards to the break. They're both, you want the break, you want the rest. They're both coming off. I mean, the Caps closed out their series with Montreal a day later than Carolina. But if there is any rust early in the series, both teams will be starting from the same point.
Tripp Tracy is with us here. Let's start because Frederik Andersen was back, practiced in full, so should be good to go for Game 1, whether it's Sunday or Monday, or I guess it theoretically could be Tuesday, but I'm guessing Sunday or Monday. Now, based on what we saw from Pyotr Kochetkov, how Rod Brindamore used Andersen in the first 4 games, my assumption would be that, hey, this is Freddie's train to drive until further notice, and that Kochetkov will be emergency capacity.
That would be my view as well.
And I think it's going to be time for Freddie, who was brilliant before that collision with Timo Meier, to dig in. And I think that, he should have an abundance of confidence. He skated yesterday. He looked good today. So that would be my estimation too. When I look at Kochetkov's relief performance and then, an incredibly rocky start against New Jersey, but he settled in the save that he made on Heischer early in that second overtime was an underrated save.
The puck was kind of knuckling.
It was one of those high danger chances that he made it look a lot easier than it was. He was way quieter with his feet and stationary when he made the save, attacking with his hands. What does that tell me? That tells me that it's there, and the challenge for him is the mental capacity to not get too jumpy. His rebound control got a lot better as the game wore along. But with all that being said, and that's encouraging for me, that it's solvable if it for whatever reason goes back to Kochetkov. But there's no doubt, in my view, that it's Anderson's net. He's earned it. He's got to stay healthy. And you got out of the first round with both goaltenders having gotten a taste out of it in a short series that you needed. So now that Freddie's back on the ice and looks like he's fully available, at least to me, you had the best possible outcome when you look at both guys being involved in the first round.
Yeah, statistically speaking, Anderson's been the best goaltender in the first round of the playoffs. Nobody's been better than Freddie Anderson. He's been dynamite. All right, you and I have talked all year long about how Andrei Svechnikov is a difference maker, that he takes Carolina from here to here, and the here being, higher than the first here. And I've talked about the fact that the least impressive part of his Game 4 hat trick were the goals. It was all of the other things that lead up to the goals. And I thought he only had one goal in Game 5. I argue he was better in Game 5 than he was in Game 4. So it isn't always about the goals for him. The goals are great, and we need them. But he played like the difference maker we know he could be.
There's a bunch of things that jump to me here. Number one, you and I, before Game 1 against the Devils, we spoke about his best finish of the season in a meaningless Game 82, that power play goal in Ottawa. And I don't know if Andre would say that was game-changing, and even if it was, whether or not he'd admit it. But, we speculated it would be to be determined if, in a meaningless Game 82, if that played a role in his ability to shoot the puck. You look at his production in the first round, I believe it did. Game 5, even when the Hurricanes were not able to match New Jersey's desperation in the first period, and they were in a 3-0 hole, by a country mile, I thought Andrei Svechnikov was the best player.
Yep.
And that just continued throughout the night. You accurately mentioned that, he did a bunch of things that every time he was on the ice, he was a truly impactful, game-changing power forward. So I do agree with your overall assessment that his Game 5 was even better than his fourth game. Now that sets the stage for, and there are many, but an unbelievably intriguing storyline because, when Svechnikov went down in Game 3 of that 2019 series and that bout with Ovechkin, I personally believe, and I always have, that was the turning point of that series that the Hurricanes eventually won. And Alex Ovechkin, when you look at him historically, he is Mufasa in Russia. And if there's anybody threatening his reign, he gets his juices flowing that much more. Now Andrei Svechnikov is a seasoned pro. He's coming in with a terrific wave of playoff confidence. That individual matchup of Svechnikov versus Ovechkin down the road, depending on health and adjustments that you make, if a guy like Alexander Nikishin is able to enter at any point during the series, I will be equally intrigued by that too, because I've seen Ovechkin going back to Svechnikov's rookie year. When there is a really potentially filled young Russian, he wants to be Mufasa. Svechnikov is coming in with all the right strengths and assets, And if circumstance ever creates a situation where Nikishin draws in what will be a very physical series, these are just things to think about.
Yeah.
And we're just scratching the surface about, all the different storylines that are going to make this series unbelievably intriguing.
Tripp Tracy is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. So the tweaks that Rod Brindamore made to his forward lines with Andrei Svechnikov bumping up to play with Sebastian Aho and Jackson Blake. Seth Jarvis was playing with Kotkaniemi and Hall, but now is playing with Martinook and Stahl, which I like. I love Jarvis on that line for a lot of reasons. But Svechnikov with Aho and Blake, now there's an element of physicality. I always thought Rod was probably going to get to something like that because he, in the back of his mind, he looks at that line with Jarvis there and goes, it might be too small for playoffs, especially against a team like Washington. What are your thoughts on now Svech with Aho and Blake as we get into this series, because it is going to be physical?
This series in particular, it's an extremely positive progression. Because it's how long do you think it's going to take in the first period of game one, whenever game one is, for Ovechkin, Tom Wilson, among others, to become public enemy number one.
Right.
Both players, by the way, you'd swim the oceans to have on your roster.
Yep.
But that is going to be central to Washington's game plan. And when you have the insulation on that line, Sebastian had a great series. It started with, him establishing his face-off game, which, if that continues, it's a huge asset. He was part of a power play that's going to have to be nuclear in terms of impact, especially if Washington loses their discipline, whether they do or they don't. You don't win this series if that power play is not great, like it was in game one. I don't believe in momentum from series to series, but I think in the power play category, I'm at least hopeful that can play a part, that there is momentum, and that will be something that will be important if the power play continues to succeed. But whether it be Tommy Wilson, whether it be Alex Ovechkin, whether it be their other physical guys, depending on how much they play against each other, the Duhaimes of the world, that having that protection, especially with Andre playing like a power forward, is the perfect type of equipment that Sebastian Aho and Jackson Blake need.
Yeah, there's no question. I am looking forward to the physicality, especially in the first pair. I think these teams are just gonna try to bang each other through the wall. That's the way the game was played when we saw this team when the Caps came to town in the beginning of April. It was a super physical series, a super physical game. It got Washington out of their game. We only had 142 penalty minutes there.
AG, you're right on that, and here we are 6 years later. But I want to revisit why I thought that scary moment in Game 3, Carolina trailing 2-0 in the series. Michael Ferland had just left the game, so your power forward that could fight, say, a Tom Wilson, that's gone.
Right.
And Svechnikov goes down, and the Hurricanes are down 2-0 in the series. The reason that I thought it was the turning point, and when you look for the appropriate responses and what is going to be the type of series we know it's going to be, if the Hurricanes lose their minds, it looked like Svechnikov. His health could be on the line when he hit the ice. His teammates, what he had done his rookie year, his charisma, they loved him.
Yeah.
If they lost their minds and did something that their roster was not built to do, they lose that series, and it's probably a short series. Instead, they dug in mentally and physically, whistle to whistle, and I firmly believe it took until double overtime of Game 7 that moment changed the series. The fact that Carolina, when the Meyer-Anderson collision happened last Sunday, the fact that Carolina dug in, whistle to whistle, mental toughness, not taking any stupid penalties, that was a turning point in the series they just won. So that's when I look back, I firmly believe that was the turning point of that epic series in Game 3 at home, And I think they're going to have the same mindset with, we know what the temperature is going to be.
Oh yeah, it's. I agree. That was a turning point in the series, and I remember coming back for Game 6. I remember that being the loudest place I've ever been, knowing that it was possible that it was the last game. Right? We were there thinking, well, this could be it, and whatever it was called at the time, I guess it was PNC Arena. It was at that point as loud as I have ever heard anything. Even louder than it was when Svechnikov tied the game against the Devils on Tuesday night, which I felt. It vibrated through my body. Real quick, I've got one more minute. I want to ask you this question. Because I can't forget, and I keep saying this, I can't forget the handshake line against the Devils. It made me emotional to watch every player who came past Brett Pesce. I'm actually tearing up now. I just want your thoughts, because I have not talked to you about that.
I thought that on our local broadcast, I thought that the pictures were super in following Brett. It was everything that is magical about the game. I caught his glimpse initially, and I know you got limited time, so I'll make it quick, of Jordan Staal, then Sebastian Aho, then Martinook, then Svechnikov, and then I'm already in my head. I see Slavin coming. The two kingpins that, without question, those two, Slavin and Pesce, signaled the turnaround in here in Carolina, gave us hope. And then Rod Brindamore and Brett Pesce, I said it at the time on the broadcast, it literally and truly, goosebumps is what the game is all about. And the huge Hurricanes fans that made it tough on Pesce. Pesce was brilliant in the series. You could see how much it meant to them, too. And the final thing, because I can't sleep after these games, even after a double overtime game, I talked to Brett Pesce at about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning because I can't sleep. I'm watching Friday Night Lights, and I know just how much it meant to him because we went back and forth at that time. It was incredibly special. It's what hockey is all about. Coolest, most special, most memorable handshake moments that I've seen in the playoff games that I've covered.
It's the indelible mark of the game was that for me. And I also reached out to him. I texted back and forth with him a little bit. It was just great. It was an honor to watch him play, man. He might have been the best player in the whole series. He was that good. Tripp Tracy, I'll see you very soon. I will talk to you in advance of Game 1 whenever they let us play Game 1.
You got it, AG. And I hope since we last talked, your son's been getting it done digging in his high school golf tournament. I know he was off to a good start.
He was off to a good start. Qualified for regionals, but he's playing soccer and he can't go. The regionals are this weekend or Monday. He's in California right now.
Ask him if he can putt for me when it's all on the line.
All right, that's the strength of his game. I'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Tripp Tracy. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to dig into the numbers of Alex Ovechkin as compared to the Carolina Hurricanes as a franchise. Next.
Making more sports sense than social media trolls. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Greensboro this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 20 different sports. The Body Armor State Games feature 11,000 athletes and 600 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. That's bodyarmorstategames.org. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Lowe's Foods, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
Are you living your best life? Do you know AARP North Carolina is working to make communities great for all ages? Help workers find easier ways to save, improve healthcare quality and access, and to protect important programs like Social Security and Medicare. Learn more about all that AARP is doing to help people of all ages by listening to AARP Without Limits. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Did you know? Along with keeping their local communities powered, public power line workers are part of a mutual aid network spanning the state and country. Public power crews help their neighbors when natural disasters damage electric systems. And that mutual aid network is one of the reasons public power has the highest reliability rating among energy providers, forming a camaraderie among line workers that's second to none. Interested in joining public power? Learn more about careers at electricities.com.
Do you know someone who's lost a loved one to overdose? Every day, the disease of addiction is taking lives and devastating families. But this crisis is preventable. Join the Governor's Institute in the Be a Superhero in the Overdose Battle campaign. Together, we can spread awareness, fight stigma, and save lives. Learn the signs of overdose. Know how to help. Visit governorsinstitute.org/superhero today, because doing nothing shouldn't be an option. Be a hero. Take action. Save a life.
70 years ago, PBS North Carolina began its journey, and you, North Carolina, have been with us every step of the way. From the adventures of Mr. Rogers to the mysteries of Antiques Roadshow, from This Old House to NC Weekend, you've inspired us to keep going. Thanks to you, we've been able to expand beyond TV, touching lives in classrooms and on the go. Celebrate with us when you watch new programming on PBS NC or stream anytime on the free PBS app. Learn more about PBS North Carolina at pbsnc.org.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. There's a major shortage of mental health professionals, especially in rural areas. In our latest episode, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association, Dr. Joseph Pino of Devant Health tells us about an exciting new program that's expanding mental health care in eastern North Carolina. He explains the need, especially among military families.
Military families frequently face moves across the country, long deployments, and added stress that comes with military life. And those experiences can lead to anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and other mental health conditions. The stigma around mental health often prevents people from seeking care.
Join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Are you struggling with your Medicare drug costs? The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program may be able to help. The Extra Help and Medicare Savings programs are available for those who qualify, but you have to apply. Contact SHIP today to see if you qualify. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
This is Adam Gold.
Home runs are homers, not dingers, not jacks, not bombs. Can I use tater?
No. Can we say going yard?
Oh, yes.
Right?
If we can't exaggerate, if we can't use colorful, flowery metaphors and descriptions, why are we here?
The Adam Gold Show.
All right, it's time to dig in on Alexander Ovechkin, and I am looking forward to this. Ben, the stats guy, Ben Seltzer, works in the back, helps us out all the time during the playoffs. All right, sir, you've got a whole bunch of Ovechkin numbers.
Yeah,
I am ready to answer these questions. I'm fascinated by this.
Yeah, I thought we'd play a little over-under.
Okay.
And just to set the bar, Ovi's the goal-scoring leader now in the NHL.
897 all time.
897 past Wayne Gretzky on April 6th against your former Islanders.
Yes, long time ago.
Yeah.
Last time I was an Islanders fan, they beat the Capitals in a playoff series.
93.
Right? It was still. It was just after I got out of college. Yes,
okay.
Actually, that's well after I got out of college. But I remember being at a place called the Cellar in College Park. So I was still in school at this point, and the Islanders and Capitals played like a 3 overtime game that the Islanders won. And, I'm in suburban Washington, D.C., amongst a whole bunch of Caps fans, and me and my buddy who were Islanders fans at the time. Yeah.
Is this the
snuck out the
Easter
back.
egg Pat LaFontaine one?
Yes.
Oh, so it's late 80s.
Yeah, it was 87, I think, that year.
All right, so just to set the bar here, as everybody knows, Hurricanes' first season, 97-98, after moving from Hartford. So if we were to take the Canes' leading goal scorer from 97-98 to now, would that be more than Ovi's 897 career goals? So we'll set the over-under 897.5. To give a little background here, put things in perspective, Ovi's first season, 05-06, so the Hurricanes have a 7-season leeway on Ovi's 27 career. That first season for the Hurricanes, 97-98, they had co-leaders, 26 goals, Keith Primo, Sammy Kapanen, but we'll only take the one.
Okay.
You want to go ahead with who's most goals in one season for the Hurricanes?
Right. If you gave me the Hurricanes goal scoring leader,
yes,
every year from then until now,
yeah,
and plus 125 goals, I might still take Ovechkin's 897 and a half. I think Carolina probably comes in around 760 is my guess.
Okay, so you got the under correct. But
was it closer than that?
Way closer.
Really?
851, 46 goals shy.
That is
Does
somewhat
that surprise
remarkable.
you?
It does surprise me because Carolina's only had 2 40-goal scorers. They had Stahl.
3. Two stalls, I believe. Yeah.
Eric did it twice.
45 and a 40.
Okay, and Jeff O'Neill did it once.
Yeah.
They've had a bunch of 30s, but you only count one of those in a given year.
We'll go to that later, too.
Right, okay, yeah. I think Aho might have the second. Maybe there were a couple of 38s in there from maybe O'Neill or Eric, but Aho's got the 36, I think, is his high.
I think he was 38, but
he?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It helped these last 7 years for the Canes' cause.
Okay, good.
All right, so next one, power play goal. Ovi's 20-season career.
Right.
Hurricanes, same situation. Ovi's at 326, so over under 326 and a half.
Under. Carolina's power play hasn't been all that great, and they haven't had that one guy who just pumped in a lot of power play goals. I think this is probably to scale, probably less.
Where would you say the range?
What did you say? Ovi was at 320-something?
326.
I would say Carolina's probably in the 240 range.
Close. It is under.
Yeah.
287 for Hurricanes.
Even better than I expected. That is very
I think you're discounting these rod years. You're coming off, but you're also coming off this past season when they didn't have a great power play. So maybe that's part of your thinking.
They saved the power play goals apparently for the first round of the playoffs.
To my chagrin, yeah. All right, next one. Ovi, 30-goal seasons. He's 19 out of 20. So the Canes, since 97-98, over under 19 and a half 30-goal seasons.
Over.
Yeah,
over. I mean, they've
had.
had.
Give a little scale.
Aho's got 4. Svechnikov has 1. Jarvis has 2. So just in the last couple of years, they've had 7 or 8. So
that certainly helps.
Yeah, I'll go over. I think it might be like 25.
Very close. 26.
All right, there you go.
Next one. Ovi has 32 career hat tricks. This one we'll do a little different.
Yeah, okay.
We'll just do Ovi's career. So since Hurricanes since 05-06.
Okay, hat tricks.
32 and a half over under.
Ooh, 32 and a half. So we got 20 seasons?
Mm-hmm.
20 seasons.
Yes.
32, so a hat trick and a half per year for Carolina. I'll say Carolina's over that. Jordan Stahl's got, I think, 3 as a Hurricane. Aho's got a handful.
A scale.
I'll say Carolina 40.
You're correct with the over, 57.
Wow. Jacob Slavin has one, by the way. Jordan Martinook has 2. So just throw that out there. But Jacob Slavin has one.
Yep.
That's very cool.
All right, last one. We were talking offline on this one.
Okay.
So you have a little prep on it, but you don't.
I
You
didn't
don't
have
know
a
the
chance
answer.
to prep.
All right. Just strictly goals as a member of the Hurricanes. How many current Canes would it take to surpass Ovi's 897 career goals? So to put things in a little
Current
perspective,
Hurricanes.
yeah.
As Hurricanes.
As Hurricanes.
Okay.
So great you said that. Jordan Staal, we're counting his Hurricanes total. We're not counting his Penguins totals.
All right, so
You want to guess the number
How-
or play through
how many
the guys
players?
too.
How many players?
Yes, current Canes
okay,
only.
Aho's got in the upper 200s. Svechnikov
283.
Is in the upper 100s. Stahl is probably also as a Hurricane.
That's your top 3.
In the
It's
upper 100s.
Aho, Stahl, Svechnikov.
Gosh, after that, man, we might be looking at Jacob Slavin being 4th
He's
on
on
that
there.
list. But the number it's not 100. Jarvis is probably pretty close to 100, maybe just
96.
Okay,
96,
yeah. So what is that? Upper 2s, upper 1s, upper 1s. It's probably 6 something, 7 something. Off the top. As Hurricanes, there's not a lot of continuity in that regard. I will say it will take 11 Hurricanes, 11 current Hurricanes.
Close. It is 8 Hurricanes. The grade
11's
8.
not that close.
To surpass the grade 8, you
Right.
need 8 current Hurricanes.
That's very
You
good.
like the symmetry
so
there.
It's Aho,
So, yeah,
Svechnikov,
okay.
Stahl.
We have Aho 283,
Right.
Stahl 178, Svech 151, Jarvis 96, Jordan Martinook
Okay.
69, Slavin 55, Kokniemi 54, Jesper Foss 36. Still
we
on the
needed
team.
Jesper Foss to get it.
Well,
That's
I brought it
amazing.
up to you before. I'm like, do we want to count him? He's on long-term IR, still on the team.
He's
but
on the roster.
If you're going to go to the next side, it's Brent Burns 34. So it
Gosh.
would have been there anyway.
It just shows you how the scoring players have changed.
Yeah.
Really, it does. That to me, they've been changing out. There are 5 current Hurricanes who played in the 19 series. There's a current
About the same for the
Capitals.
Caps, right?
It's the numbers are identical. It's 5 Hurricanes and 1 former Capital versus
each side,
5 Capitals and 1 former
Right.
Hurricane who all played in that series. Wild stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we have about 2 more minutes here, so let's.
You want to do some
let's
OV odds and ends?
All right, give me OV odds and ends. We'll make the whole thing about Alexander Ovechkin.
Most career goals versus single franchise. Where do you think the Hurricanes rank on his goalometer?
Well, I thought it was first, but then you told me yesterday that it wasn't, so it's
No.
not first.
Yeah, surprisingly, it's the Jets, but you also have to remember
They were the
have
Atlanta
Thrashers.
Thrashers.
Yeah,
Yes.
so he beat up a lot on them.
Yes, he did. A lot of people scored a lot of goals against the Atlanta Thrashers, but when they were in the Atlanta Thrashers, they also scored a lot of goals.
That's true.
Danny Heatley and Ilya
Kovalchuk,
Kovalchuk for a while.
Yeah, so the Hurricanes are tied for second with the Flyers at 52, Jets, Thrashers at 57. And I was looking back, first game against the Canes, he scored the first goal of the game.
Uh-huh.
The
This
goalie,
is in 05,
yeah,
his
it
rookie
was
season.
October 12th, 05. The goalie for the Canes.
October 12th?
Yeah.
It was either. Well, they had Mrazek, they had McElhinney. I don't know if
05.
05. Well, Curtis McElhinney. Oh no, 05. I'm sorry.
05, yes.
Duh. I was.
Think that cup year.
Well, it was either Martin Gerber or Cam Ward.
Don't overthink it.
So, well, if I'm not overthinking it, it would be Martin Gerber because he played 60 some odd games that year. But my guess is it's.
I think the guy
it is
who's
Cam
the lead-
Ward.
It
isn't
is Cam Ward, and the Hurricanes went on to win 7-2 in that game.
7-2.
Yeah.
Kill him. Washington wasn't that good.
Yeah, that was Ovi's first
it
season.
took
So
him a
they
while
were
to-
coming off,
yeah.
that first overall pick in 04. We got the lockout. So yeah, they're still rebuilding. So
All
yeah,
right.
it makes sense.
What do the numbers tell you about this series?
It's close. Capitals were first in the division. Canes were second. I was doing the goals for, goals against breakdown. It's pretty close. I mean, it's kind of similar to the Devils in a way. Like, Devils had good goals for and against, goals against. It was really good, but the Hurricanes won the special teams. On paper, it looks like the Capitals will win the special teams here. 23.5 on PP during the regular season, 82.
They have a good kill.
Tied for fourth, yeah.
A good kill.
But if the Canes are able to do that great PK like they did in the first round and the regular season, it could be tough for the Caps.
Different because of Ovechkin. Different penalty kill, different power play, and also Strome operates really well in the middle of the ice. Washington's size is going to be a problem. Canes in how many?
What market are we in?
We're in. All
right. I'll just say it goes to 6 or 7.
Yeah, it's good. Canes in 3. Nah. It's going to be a long series. That's Ben Seltzer. Ben the Stats Guy. We'll do it again.
Yeah.
All right, with a player not named Alexander Ovechkin.
Yeah, it's a little Ovi-focused.
I have no problem with focusing on Alexander Ovechkin. He broke the all-time record, and Carolina's going to be focusing on Alexander Ovechkin. So, Victoria, since we ate up so much of that time.
Time to play some bets.
You want to play bets?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you one.
All right.
Okay. Well, so we've got some hockey, of course, this weekend. First up, Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues. You know what? I'm going to pick the Jets in this one, and I'll go over 5.5. That's plus 310 together.
Jets on the road and over 5.5.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
I'm gonna give you the final score tonight. St. Louis 4-2. So Blues minus a goal and a half, over 5.5 plus 451.
Okay. Now, next up.
I haven't been right in a month. A month.
The Avs are taking on the Stars in Dallas. This is probably just because I want to see this happen. Maybe Martin Necas will get another goal, but I want the Avs to win and beat the Dirty Stars. Miko and company over 5.5 together is plus 205.
Look at that. See, I want Colorado to win. I think Dallas is going to win. I am worried about Colorado's goaltending based on what I saw. Dallas under 5.5 plus 281.
Ooh, okay.
Dallas is an underdog at home.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. And last but not least, there is hockey, but there's also UFC this weekend. So, looking at a prelim fight, we've got Marina Rodriguez versus Jillian Robertson. Robertson is great at submitting. I think she's going to win this fight, but I think she's going to win by submission. So that is plus 290.
All right, I'm going to give you an NBA. We have a Game 7, Clippers and Nuggets tomorrow. And I think the Clippers are going to Denver, and they're going to win on the road. And I think it will be, I don't think it's going to be super high scoring, but it's going to be more than the total of 205.5. So Clippers to win over 205.5. That is plus, I have everything's combined here. That's no good. We don't need that. Plus 247. That makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? All right, so we still don't know when the Canes and Capitals are going to start. Maybe we'll know by the time we get to the Wall of Sound. Probably not. The Wall of Sound is next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Do you ever go to the Carolina Hurricanes games and find yourself thinking, what do the players eat before the game? What are their pregame rituals? What kind of music gets them pumped up ahead of the game? How sacred is the game day nap? What's the postgame mood on the team plane? Check out my new podcast, Iced Tea, with me, Megan LaMontagne. I get to talk to people who spill the tea on the Carolina Hurricanes. Listen to Iced Tea in any podcast app or watch the show on the Fan YouTube channel.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner, right here in the Triangle.
With $215 billion in business loans and over 3,700 business specialists across the nation, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Are you ready for a global summer showdown? Thursday, June 19th at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Football legends collide at the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. Inter Miami and FC Porto. Lionel Messi and Jordi Alba taking on Diogo Costa and Rodrigo Mora. Don't miss your chance to be part of history. Grab your tickets now at FIFA.com/tickets.
Marcy Bailey here to remind you that Mother's Day is right around the corner. Show your love and appreciation for Mom with something sparkly wrapped up in a Bailey box. We've curated an amazing Mother's Day gift guide with beautiful jewelry for every style and budget. Shoppable at BaileyBox.com. We also have all the top designers like David Yurman, Lagos, and Hippolyta, along with our highly sought-after Bailey's collections. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, voted best jeweler from the Triangle to the Coast.
Why? Why take a chance? Why risk a mistake? Why say something? We all have reasons why we choose to ignore the things that give us pause, that seem out of place, that don't feel right. The word why can either paralyze us or empower us to stand up and protect what we love. So if you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my family.
I see safe for my friends.
I see say for my students.
We see say for each other.
I see say because all of this matters.
We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies this community we're all a part of. So protect your everyday. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
Charlie did not die from an overdose. Charlie was poisoned.
No other family should go through this. It's just horrific.
Go to safe.pharmacy. Use the free tool. Learn if the online pharmacy you're using is safe.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen.
And this is Sarah Beth.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese,
I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
High fly ball center field. Varsho's back. He falls down. Oh my goodness, did he just do that?
Are you kidding me?
He made the catch after falling down behind his back. Wow. A circus catch if you have ever seen one.
Oh my God.
That was ridiculous.
Just the pure concentration. Oh my goodness. I mean, he hits and barrel rolls, somehow keeps his eye on this. Watch this. First off, I thought this was getting out of the ballpark. Loses his footing. How does he keep his eye on that ball and still make the backhand catch? That was unbelievable.
You must be joking.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria's on the 1s and 2s. Mets lost yesterday. That was a baseball highlight, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of lost in the fact the Mets have lost, I think, 2 in a row.
Yeah.
It's crumbling.
Yeah.
It's crumbling. I think they're 21-11.
My Cubs won, though. Beating Paul Skeens. Take that, Skeens.
Paul Skeens has lost 3 times this year.
Oh, so sad. So sad. Hopefully the guy who, fell from the stands is still alive. Did you see that?
I did see that.
What? I don't know what the story of that is, but that did not look good.
I don't know how you fall out of the second deck. Actually, it was the seats right above the top of the
21 feet high.
Yeah, 20 in honor of Roberto Clemente. We've actually had these discussions. We've talked about the stadium recently because, remember, the Pirates took the number 21 off the wall and slapped a corporate logo on it, and that annoyed, smart people.
Yes.
Anyway, 21-foot-high wall to honor Roberto Clemente, who wore number 21, and, fell and landed, I think, flat on his back.
Yeah.
Yes, he is, as far as the latest news report is, still in critical condition.
Makes sense. I looked rough.
21 feet. Do the math. What is it? Something, per second? Whatever that is.
Who knows?
I can't even remember it.
No.
But he hit the ground with a thud. Yeah. But you saw that, nobody realized it was happening.
No, the game was still going.
Well, it was the third out of the inning.
Right.
So players are running off the field.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a fly ball to shallow right or something like that.
Right.
And you're running off the field. Everybody's just running off the field and boom.
Yeah. I know. And the video, they've slowed it down, too.
Oh,
because
why?
I know. Why
would they do that?
Twitter. And I don't know if he got excited because people are saying that he jumped. And maybe he caught his foot on the rail.
He did not jump.
I don't think so. I mean, who would want to do that? But
looked like he just
I don't know, beer maybe
fell. Yeah. Who knows? I'm not going to speculate on it how, but
it just looked bad. So hopefully he's still alive. It was it's scary.
I'm sure if he is still alive, he is quite shattered.
Yes. Not great, but yeah.
It's a pretty long fall.
Yeah.
21 feet doesn't sound like a lot, right?
Oof.
Basketball is only 10 feet.
Yeah.
Basketball net, basketball hoop is only 10 feet.
Yeah.
Tack on another, basketball hoop and then a foot. That doesn't seem like a lot.
Oof.
But when you look at it, it looked like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it looked like a lot.
See, I was that kid, though, that never wanted to jump off really high things. Yeah, so for me, that's a no-brainer. Nope, I'm good. Nope. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I still don't jump off of high things.
It's good. That's good. Yeah.
No.
Feet and knees don't like
Get
that.
me a ladder, please. I'll just take a ladder.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, hope he's okay. Wall of sound time.
The wall of sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, let's start with the NBA Game 7 coming up on Saturday night, which is Denver hosting the Los Angeles Clippers. Nikola Jokic, best player in the world, on his thoughts going into another Game 7.
Yeah, we had probably 5, 6. We had 2 in bubble against San Antonio one time, Portland 2 times, one time, right? So it's just another one. I'm going to approach it as just another one because I play every game. For me, it's really important. Every game is important, and every game I want to win. So I'm going to play as a regular game.
Just like another Game 7. He mentioned San Antonio. A quick aside. Greg Popovich announced today that he was no longer going to be a head coach. He really didn't coach the team at all this year. He had some health issues and was away from the team all season. They thought he was going to come back, but he is now president of basketball operations, and they have moved on and hired a new coach whose name I can't remember. But Greg Popovich, one of the greatest coaches in the history of the NBA. Here's James Harden, point guard for the Clippers, going into Game 7.
Just win at home. We still had some mistakes tonight, but I think our energy defensively and even offensively, our aggressiveness was different. You know what I mean? Which starts with me. So watch some film, get better, figure out things that I can continue to get better at, and do one more game.
I like the Clippers on the road, not because of Harden, but because of Kawhi Leonard, and also Ben Simmons. When he's not being asked to do things that Ben Simmons doesn't want to do, like shoot, Ben Simmons can be a difference maker. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a big say in what happens tomorrow night. All right, to the Hurricanes. We have 3 Hurricanes things. The first 2 are very cut and dried. Rod Brindamore first on Washington, the expectations of a physical series.
Both teams, I watched enough about them too that there's a reason they're a good team and one of the best this year is that they don't give you games. You got to earn them, and so I don't envision that they're going to be taking extra penalties. That's just not how you win. So yeah, it's going to be a physical series. We understand that. It's playoffs, and we expect that. But I don't expect a lot of unnecessary penalties.
And Shane Gostisbehere, defenseman, on the power play that has gotten some traction now that the same guys are out there all the time.
Chemistry obviously is a big part of power plays. You saw at the beginning of the year we didn't really change too much, and then obviously a lot of personnel changes and guys in and out of the lineup and whatnot. Just, it obviously shows that, it hurts the chemistry of, when everyone's on the same page and where guys are going to be and their tendencies, it's obviously a lot easier to find that success on a power play. You look at all the good power plays in the league and they've been together for a while, or they've had one interchanging part or so that fits seamlessly. So for us, it's just obviously keeping that chemistry and keeping it rolling.
All right, now, final thing on the wall of sound. April 24th, 2019, I'd say around 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
What an effort by Justin Williams once again tonight in a Game 7. Wilson couldn't get his stick on the puck. Hurricanes keep it alive. Williams towards the net. Score! They score! Hey, what do you say? The Canes win in overtime. It is seventh heaven, and the Carolina Hurricanes have advanced to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
The Hurricanes, better condition than the champs, have just dethroned the Stanley Cup champions. Puck retrieval, never a bad play for anybody, let alone Mr. Game 7, to get the puck to the net. And who's the guy we thought might do it? Late in regulation, Brock McGinn. Brock McGinn played for Scott Walker in Guelph. Scott implored Jim Rutherford at the time to draft him. And now, just like Walker did, Brock McGinn sends Carolina to New York, and I'm really excited about seeing this handshake procession coming up.
It was pretty cool. That whole thing was pretty cool. Sebastian Aho was out in front as well, but Brock McGinn was the one who redirected it past Braden Holtby, and Carolina moved into the second round. Washington just won their first playoff series since winning the Stanley Cup in June of 2018. Their win over Montreal was the first time they won a playoff series since. That is kind of surprising if you think about it, but the playoffs are not easy. People should always remember that when we talk about Carolina's success. Well, they've only done this. They've only gotten this far. They've only done this. Holy cow. It ain't easy to only do what they have done. But I remember very quickly, we were doing a remote the day of Game 7. We were actually down at the Carolina Ale House on Glenwood Avenue, which I believe just closed. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I apologize. Anyway, so we were doing the show from there, and I watched the first period there, and at that point, I wasn't doing pre and post for the game. I was just doing my show in the afternoon. And we watched the game. I watched the first period, and then I was going to drive home and watch the rest of the game. And it takes about, from downtown Raleigh to get to my house, like 50 minutes. So I'd be listening to the second period in the car. Well, complications leaving Carolina Ale House. I did get home for the beginning of the third period, but I barely made it to the beginning of the third period. And I knew Carolina had got it to within 3-2. About 3 minutes in, Jordan Stahl makes it 3-3. and then it's a dominant overtime without a goal, and then pretty much a dominant first half of the next overtime before Brock McGinn scored. But I was in a bit of a panic because I wasn't sure I was going to be able to leave Raleigh.
Yeah.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Makes sense.
Anyway, those were great times, and now it's time to try to do it again.
I hope
All right,
so.
when we come back, a roundtable. This is like a back-to-back for Jeremy Greene.
So excited.
Jeremy Greene's back. We'll see if he has a draft cave. And Josh Graham, who I know has a Baltimore Oriole cave. Next.
Talking sports so you don't have to pretend to know stuff. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Let's go! It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Aho now to Jarvis. Jarvis, go get the giant score!
Let's go, Canes!
Svechnikov, stop! It's on the goal line behind him! He does a snow angel in the paint!
Go, Canes!
Playoff hockey in Raleigh is something that you can't describe, and it's because of you. So we want to be here.
The Canes' road to the Stanley Cup runs through us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Creighton Blackwell here once again from Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Today we are at East Chapel Hill High School, and we're here to celebrate our newest Scholar Athlete of the Month, Isabel Woke.
I've been volunteering a lot with teaching kids how to swim, and I just really love getting back to this sport that has given me so much. And it's really just inspires me and motivates me to see other people getting in the water and really learning to enjoy it.
I think Isabel has an automatic natural ability to be a leader, and it's really actually impressive. And I think it's great because she has a lot of experience, and she's very humble and has a great personality and a great person to be around.
She is articulate, she is smart, she is empathetic, she is everything that you would hope most teenagers are.
So every once in a while you get lucky enough to meet a student who just operates in a different plane than the rest of us, and those students are the ones that make you wonder, what are they going to do later on in life? And she's one of those.
I'm so thankful for my coaches and my teammates and my parents who have just made this possible.
Congratulations, Isabel.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
This is Secret Clinical Dominating Extra Stinky Stress Sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT. Because nothing fights sweat better. Stay fresher under pressure.
This Cinco de Mayo weekend, let's keep our community safe from drunk driving. If you celebrate a little too much, use a rideshare or designated driver. Amigos don't let amigos drive drunk. Think before you drink. From your friends at 99.9 The Fan and Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
This is Adam Gold.
80-second mark, I scream in the booth. I screamed in the booth. Why the heck is he still on the ice?
Did you say it in Finnish?
I should have.
Yes.
No, he wouldn't. He curses in English.
He does.
All right, 2 seconds later, he scored.
Yes. He
And I
hurt
went,
you.
oh, that's why. That's what.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. Wasn't sure I was on the air. Just
You
now.
are.
I am now. Hi, I'm Adam Gold. That's Victoria.
It's a Friday. It's a Friday. See, we haven't told people, we haven't reminded them if they missed the beginning of the show. I have a Friday shirt.
You do.
And I'm wearing it.
There is there's a social media video.
Yes,
of
somewhere.
that, of you unveiling the Friday shirt.
Yes.
To me. I have not seen it.
I have not either.
But where
it's
did Ashley
somewhere,
put
I
it?
think.
Is she just sending it to friends and family? What is she doing?
I don't know, potentially.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's up there somewhere.
So-
Because after today, it's not Saturday, so I mean, it's today, it's relevant.
By the way, the Hurricanes announced that they would be practicing tomorrow at 11 o'clock at Lenovo Center. I know NC State's graduation is across the street at that Carter Finley Stadium, but the Hurricanes are practicing at 11 o'clock tomorrow, which leads me to believe, even though we have no idea, that if they're practicing at 11, they've either been told nothing by the league, which is probably true, or that more likely the series with Washington would start Monday, because theoretically you would leave from the arena to the airport, and those flights are generally around 3-ish. Practice at 12, get into the locker room, head to the airport at like 1:30, because they don't go through the same places we go through, right? Anyway, but so I don't know. I don't know when the series is going to start, but it's going to start either Sunday or Monday is my guess. I was leaning towards Sunday, although I'm happy with a Monday start.
Sure, yeah.
I'm happy with a Monday start. Either way, don't know. You know what I do know? I know we have two good friends in the Roundtable.
Camelot. It's only a model.
Josh Graham, at Josh Graham, why can't I figure this out anymore? Josh Graham Radio.
It's been a long week.
Holy cow! It's been a long time since we've talked to Josh, Sports Hub Triad. Jeremy Greene. It's all right. Jeremy Greene, ESPN Asheville at ESPN Draft Nerd. This is the third appearance for Jeremy Greene in the last 7 shows. Third appearance. We might have to send you a 1099.
I'm perfectly okay with that. But the good thing is that I am a draft nerd, which means after today, I basically crawl in a gopher hole, and nobody cares what I think for a solid 4 months.
You crawl back into your draft cave. Before I get to Josh, so Jeremy Greene, do you have a draft bunker?
So I heard you guys talking about this, and Tank and I, my co-host Tank Spencer and I, we were laughing when you said this because I actually do. So I'm a huge Batman fan. I have a big Batman tattoo.
Oh, is there a pole? Do you slide down a pole to get into your
there is no
draft
pole.
cave?
There is no pole, but we do call it Mullet Manor.
Mullet Manor.
That's very nice. That's very nice.
So there's big televisions up on the wall. There's blackout curtains. Now I have not been able to watch a draft in here since I built it, but I've watched a lot of tape in here. So we call it Mullet Manor. I am Mullet Wayne, and this is where I go to stew and think about all of the things I will do to save Draftham City.
Oh, my gosh. Josh, do you have a draft cave?
No, not nearly. I did move into a new house recently.
Good for you.
And yeah, I do have my own little cave with a bunch of knickknacks and things to hang on the wall and such. But no, nothing really that elaborate. But happy Oaks Day to you and Jeremy, by the way. How are you celebrating?
Oh, it's the Kentucky Oaks is today.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to celebrate by talking with Dick Girardi in about 25 minutes. We'll get his pick for the Derby. I'm assuming it will be journalism. Although
Jake Delhomme had a horse that won a race a month ago in the New Orleans Classic. He told me, keep an eye on Luxor Cafe 15-1. Journalism is going to be rooted for by all of sports media as if it's Bruce Springsteen.
Journalism is dead, ladies and gentlemen. Embrace
Hopefully
debate.
not literally.
Embrace debate. Yes, exactly. We don't want to. Journalism has been put down. No, we don't want that. All right, let's. I'm going to start with you, Josh. Even though you're not a draft nerd like Jeremy, we all follow it. What did you think ultimately of the Panthers' overall draft haul?
I think the draft, like it or not, is going to be defined by what you do with the top 10 pick. When you pick in the top 10, you want all pros, and that's the line, plain or simple. Future Hall of Fame caliber talent. And when you look at the history of the Carolina Panthers, here was the list for a 20-year period of Carolina picking in the top 10. Jordan Gross, Julius Peppers, Cam Newton, Luke Kuechly, Christian McCaffrey, Derek Brown for a 20-year stretch. And then J.C. Horn was after that, who obviously had a really good year. That's the bar until you get to Ike Ekwonu, who just had his fifth year picked up, and then Bryce Young. It's still too early to figure that one out. Yeah. And now what you have here with Teterow and McMillan, that's how it's going to be defined. In terms of the pick, I think I agree with the philosophy of the pick. I disagree with the evaluation. Dan Morgan and Dave Canales said that there was relief and borderline celebration when Mason Graham was the pick at 5 for Cleveland because that meant they were getting their guy. I didn't see any draft boards or any reaction that said that Teterow and McMillan might be one of the 5 best players in the draft, and the evaluation is closer to how dominant that Ashton Genty was. That's the way Carolina viewed him. I didn't see evaluations that said that, but that's how Carolina felt, which explains why they were less willing to move off of that pick because their evaluation was that great. I don't quite see that with McMillan, but if anybody has earned the benefit of the doubt to see how good a receiver is or to evaluate a receiver, it's Dave Canales, who was 8 years a Seattle Seahawks wide receivers coach, and Brad Idzik, who was a wide receivers coach before becoming the Panthers OC, and Rob Moore, who is a former Pro Bowl receiver, who is the current receivers coach. And don't forget, Leggett, good early returns, Jalen Coker, an undrafted rookie last year. Their evaluation, for them to feel that good about this guy, should excite Panther fans.
All right, so, some of the what you just said, like the benefit of the doubt stuff, I could pick through, but I want to go to Jeremy first. Did you like the draft overall?
I love the draft overall. I can actually elaborate on what Josh just said about the pick at 5. That's one of those times that Dan, in his head, he was saying it the right way, but it didn't come out the right way. So what he actually meant was Jacksonville was locked on McMillan if they had been stuck at 5. We didn't know they were looking to trade up to 2. That was one of the great Kreskin moves of all time. Mm-hmm. But apparently Liam Cohen really liked Teterow McMillan because he reminded him of Mike Evans. So he was beating the table for if we can't get Hunter, they could very possibly take McMillan at 5. They were always the wild card. So I do believe that McMillan was their guy because I think they evaluated this class a lot like I did, which is once you get past Mason Graham, who went at 5, I know what Mason Graham's going to be. I don't think he'll ever be an all-pro, but I think there's no chance that he doesn't make 2 or 3 Pro Bowls. Yeah. After that, it's very much beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I don't think they were sold on Jalen Walker. Mm-hmm. I don't think they were comfortable with James Pierce. Mm-hmm. I don't think they were comfortable with a lot of guys. And so then they get to Tet. And I'll be honest with you, I met Tet 3 times through this process. He might be legitimately the most boring prospect I've ever talked to in my life. And I love that. I love the fact that you get this big-bodied receiver that's going to come into Charlotte, and he's not a diva in any way. Because I don't want any of the headaches with Bryce. I've already got Coker, who's also a boring guy. And I say boring, that sounds bad. It's not.
Right.
He's boring. Thielen's boring. Leggett is anything but boring, but he's not boring for all the right reasons.
Right.
And so I look at this receiver core and I go, this can work. This can work. Do we have a legit, honest-to-God one? Maybe not. But much like my dating record, there's a lot of 2s and 3s that I'm pretty good about.
Okay, I'm not going to get into your dating record. First of all, you just likened
Is Belichick not on the menu later in this conversation?
Well, we'll get to it. We're going to get to it.
110, a bunch of threes.
Ted,
that's really the extent of it.
Ted McMillan is the Cam Ward draft suit of a wide receiver room. Jeremy Greene.
Football Cam Ward, right?
Yes, football Cam Ward. By the way, great viral video that Cam Ward, the Hurricanes Hall of Famer goaltender, put out. Like, I was just drafted. Like, perfect setup. He played it off beautifully, and good for Cam for doing that. Here's, without getting too deep into the weeds, I have no problem drafting a wide receiver. The reason why nobody the Panthers didn't want to trade out, they would have traded out. Nobody wanted to trade up. There was like when was the next trade? The Giants trading back into 25 to take Jackson Dart. Like, there wasn't anybody good enough to trade up to get in this draft.
What we learned after the fact, there were some offers, and it seemed that the Rams were trying to get in the top 10, and the Cowboys wanted to move up. The thing is, the guy that they wanted is the guy that the Panthers ultimately took.
Yeah, that's quite possible. But if they had come up with if somebody really came up with the right offer, I think they would have traded back. I still don't understand trading up ever in his draft, but they traded up in places where it didn't cost them a ton down the road. Trading up is never a good thing, again, unless you are adding pieces that you have to have. But there was a lot of sameness. Jeremy and I talked about it. I've talked about it with whether it was Mike Felder or Jordan Reed back a few weeks ago. There was just a lot of sameness from 8 all the way through 30 in terms of overall talent level and impact in the NFL. I still think that they need cornerback and safety help. I wish, although I love the kid they took from Ohio State, on the low, I'm not sure he won't be the second best pick in this entire draft. I don't remember his name, but he hits everything. Oh my gosh, he hits everything that moves when you watch the tape. So he looks like he might be a little small, but man, he just crushes everything. So I'm not sure he won't be the one of the most exciting players out of this draft. You mentioned Bill Belichick. We have to go there. All right, Josh.
We don't have to talk about that. We're not talking about that, Adam.
All right, Jordan. So should Bill have just bought a Ferrari? Would that have been a better move for Bill Belichick? Because we're having a midlife crisis, and clearly there has been like a monumental event one night, maybe on a flight to Palm Beach. I don't know. Maybe a club was joined. I don't know. But boy, this is wildly out of character. Can you sum up Jordan Hudson?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I think I struggle with this a little bit because this is a problem for North Carolina, but it's not a football problem for this reason.
I agree at this point.
The problem is, one of the reasons you hire Bill Belichick is when I was sitting in this studio at the time that he was having his press conference, I turned on all the local channels in the Triad and they were carrying it live. And then I turned on the NFL Network and they were carrying it live. And then I turned on Fox Sports and then Colin Cowherd is throwing to this, interrupting his show, ESPN, the ACC Network, all carrying it live. And if you're North Carolina, you're thinking this entire offseason is going to be a wave of attention.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Bill Belichick in the NFL didn't care about any of this, and he shouldn't have, because there's no currency for that in the NFL that helps to lead. Bill Belichick, we always heard, what he cares about is what he spends his time on is what's going to help him win. And that none of this helps winning in the NFL. In college, there is currency for that. And North Carolina was thinking it's going to be a positive wave of attention. And yet, the only interviews we've seen Bill Belichick do since taking the job was Marty Smith 5 minutes after the presser. And then every other interview has been done by a guy wearing a tank top on in afternoons for ESPN. And then, if you could call those interviews, he sat down with Jones Angell for 20 minutes from North Carolina, and then you had the CBS debacle. That's the only one that really is an independent interview, and he couldn't even manage that, and it's because of Jordan. North Carolina didn't sign up for their staffers for having to CC a 25-year-old girlfriend with no PR experience on all interactions with Bill Belichick. And North Carolina was probably thinking Bill might, because there's value of it in college, might, want to elevate the program by talking about the actual football. But instead, the focus has been on his book, and he hasn't done a lot of the media tour or anything whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So they lost control of the narrative whatsoever altogether. And now everyone's just talking about Jordan Hudson, and that's a huge loss for North Carolina.
I want to just clarify something. She is CEO of Belichick Productions, a company which does not exist anywhere, based on
LLC.
the LLC. Based on the reporting, nobody can locate where actually Belichick Productions LLC is located. So, Jeremy, to take it to the football sense, because I know I have seen it, and I think it all depends on where you were at the time of the hire. Personally, I get why people say this won't work. I think they're probably they are more likely to be right than be wrong. This won't work in a football sense, but I am willing to wait because I know that Belichick is as good a football coach as has ever been produced on this earth. And the game of college football is looking a lot more like pro football in terms of structuring your roster and building those things. And I think he will be able to coach, maybe even outcoach, almost everybody that they are going to come up against. It'll all come down to talent. How can he get that? But I don't know that anything we have seen here matters in terms of football. I just know that it all is a terrible look for the university, even though they had nothing to do with it. What is your read on how this might impact football?
Okay, so my question would be, why is this a terrible look? All right, so you have a 73-year-old coach that's long been known as the old curmudgeon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Jets fan that covered the Jets for years, and Bill is quite possibly the worst interview I've ever done.
Right.
In terms of having a microphone in front of him, I know he's not going to say anything. My biggest fear of him coming to North Carolina, it had nothing to do with on the field. I mean, I'm looking at the roster of coaches in the ACC. I'm not really afraid that Fran Brown's going to outcoach him. And that's no shot at Fran. Fran's a great recruiter. Fran's a great guy. He doesn't have two hands full of Super Bowl rings.
Right.
I'm not worried about the on the field. I saw all of these guys. All of the Carolina guys were at the Combine. And I'm going to be honest with you. They were having a great time. We talked for about 20 minutes. The girlfriend never came up. They were having a good old time. And I'm looking at this going, okay, Bill is putting himself out in front of the media. He's still being the old curmudgeon. But at the very least, he's showing a little bit of personality in that. And now is the personality strange that he's dating a girl that's a third his age? Sure. But she's also probably going to be Miss Maine. And I'm not going to lie. I'm a 38-year-old man with an 18-year-old disposition, and I'm looking at my coach here, going, "You're dating a girl that's 5 years older than me." I don't know what else to say. It's just okay. That's fine. It's not. It doesn't.
Oh, I don't think it matters. I don't think. Excuse me. I think there are people who are put off by the fact that he is dating a 24, 25-year-old woman. I think there are people. I don't care. I don't care about the relationship. I don't care about the role playing where he's a fisherman and she's a mermaid. I don't care about the.
I love that personally. I'm a huge fan of that because it is the most comically cringy thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's hysterical.
And as
It's
somebody
completely
that stole 20
hysterical.
years from me.
Yeah,
I love that it's him.
But just to get back to a point that I strayed from and never got back to, I think there are people that have assigned their initial criticism of the hire to what is happening now and saying this is more proof that football will be a disaster. I don't see a connection until there's a connection. We don't know. Yes. So right now, I think it's a leap of, again, preconceived notions that this will impact football. Right now, my biggest criticism is that it's clear that Bill did an interview based on trying to sell the book. They've completely botched the post-interview back and forth with CBS. Nobody. Josh, if Bill Belichick agreed to come on to talk about the book, there is no way you would say, okay, I promise to always talk about the book. He wouldn't get that treatment here either. We're going
also,
to
the question started by talking about the fact that he called her a creative muse in the book.
Right, and then we wouldn't talk about the relationship at all or how they met, all of that. So, yeah, there's a lot of disconnect about it. But for Bill to believe that CBS Sunday Morning, one of the softballiest interview you could ever have, would have said, "Oh, we'll talk about whatever it is you want to talk about," and only that, they would have said no. It was like, we don't need it. You're not going to make our show so much that we're going to do everything you want. We're going to ask you questions. They did 35 minutes, and the only reason why Jordan Hudson was in it was because Jordan Hudson was a problem for them.
The issue is she seems to be in more control than North Carolina is. And North Carolina is the one that's paying him $10 million a year. They weren't in the room. Nobody from North Carolina when this interview happened. And on top of it, they're having to CC her on all these emails. Does Bill Belichick work for North Carolina, or does North Carolina work for Bill Belichick? Which of the two is it? And by the way, if people are listening to this who are North Carolina fans saying, oh, we're just hating, the football's going to be just fine, I then riddle them. This is a trivia question for anybody out there.
Oh, trivia.
Can you name 3 football players on this North Carolina team?
I can't. But that wouldn't matter.
All the ones I knew transferred.
That's the thing. Where I look at, there's a lot of new in North Carolina, right? A lot of new teams. At Wake, I know Damon Claiborne's a dude. At NC State, those receivers, CJ Bailey, I have some familiarity. Darian Mensah, watched him at Tulane. Very good at Duke, and Duke's won 9 games the last 2 years. When I look at this North Carolina roster, and I'm trying to find the thing I'm most sure about with this team, I guess since they invested a lot in the lines, they're pretty good. But Gio Lopez, watched him at South Alabama up close on the field last year. He's pretty good, carved up App State, but that's again the Sun Belt. That's not the ACC. I have no clue about any of these position players and anybody else. And also, it's the job of the football coach to kind of sell some of this. And as we acknowledge, Bill's not interested.
Final thing, and this is just a prediction. I don't need an explanation. So, because we have about a minute.
Yeah.
Jeremy, Canes over the Capitals and how many?
I'll take the Canes over the Capitals. I watched them for the first time the other night and was really impressed at how ridiculously fast they play. I'll take the Canes over the Capitals in gentlemen's sweep 5.
5. Very nice. Josh, Canes over the Caps and how many? Unless you're picking the Caps, which is fine too.
Caps in 7. I just get scared. I get scared of it.
Terrified.
And I don't think the Canes
you
will
think
win
Tom Wilson's going to come up to the press box and hit you, don't you?
If it's another Game 7 on their ice, I think the Caps will get it this time.
It's Canes in either 1 or 3. I can't decide. I just know
I want to see a game down there. I've never gotten down there. I love hockey in person. And I've never been to see a Canes game, and I feel like I need to do that sometime very soon.
I feel like you need to. Josh Graham, I'll be looking down upon you, I'm sure, at some point at the end of the week.
I'll see you in the Lenny.
That's right. I like that. It's better than the big ThinkPad. Josh Graham at Josh Graham Radio. I can't remember all of that. And Jeremy Greene, ESPN Draft Nerd. Boy, thank you very much, fellas. I appreciate it, even though I used to be good at this and I'm not. All right, we got to take a break. Dick Girardi is going to join us. The Kentucky Derby is tomorrow. Post time about, 6:30-ish. Dick Girardi's covered the sport of horse racing for about 4 decades. Joins us next.
From the heels.
Touchdown, Carolina.
To the canes.
She scores!
He covers it all. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Greensboro this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 20 different sports. The Body Armor State Games feature 11,000 athletes and 600 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. That's bodyarmorstategames.org. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Lowe's Foods, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
Did you know, along with keeping their local communities powered, public power line workers are part of a mutual aid network spanning the state and country? Public power crews help their neighbors when natural disasters damage electric systems. And that mutual aid network is one of the reasons public power has the highest reliability rating among energy providers, forming a camaraderie among line workers that's second to none. Interested in joining public power? Learn more about careers at electricities.com.
Are you living your best life? Do you know AARP North Carolina is working to make communities great for all ages? Help workers find easier ways to save, improve healthcare quality and access, and to protect important programs like Social Security and Medicare? Learn more about all that AARP is doing to help people of all ages by listening to AARP Without Limits. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Every day, people battling addiction suffer in silence. Because of stigma, they fear judgment. They fear being labeled, and too often, they don't get the help they need. But you can help change that. Join the Governor's Institute and be a superhero in the Overdose Battle campaign. Learn how to break the stigma, support those in need, and save lives. Visit governorsinstitute.org/superhero to get involved. Be a hero, fight stigma, save a life.
70 years ago, PBS North Carolina began its journey, and you, North Carolina, have been with us every step of the way. From the adventures of Mr. Rogers to the mysteries of Antiques Roadshow, from This Old House to NC Weekend, you've inspired us to keep going. Thanks to you, we've been able to expand beyond TV, touching lives in classrooms and on the go. Celebrate with us when you watch new programming on PBS NC or stream anytime on the free PBS app. Learn more about PBS North Carolina at pbsnc.org.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. There's a major shortage of mental health professionals, especially in rural areas. In our latest episode, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association, Dr. Joseph Pino of Novant Health tells us about an exciting new program that's expanding mental health care in eastern North Carolina. He explains the need, especially among military families.
Military families frequently face moves across the country, long deployments, and added stress that comes with military life. And those experiences can lead to anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and other mental health conditions. The stigma around mental health often prevents people from seeking care.
Join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Are you struggling with your Medicare drug costs? The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program may be able to help. The Extra Help and Medicare savings programs are available for those who qualify, but you have to apply. Contact SHIP today to see if you qualify. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
This is Adam Gold.
He said he could talk about his golf game. He did say it wasn't great, and I said, hey, no judgment here. I'm a drive shacker and a putt-putter myself.
None of us are good. Even those of us that are good aren't really good.
Right, yeah.
We're just not.
Yeah.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Again, still waiting on the schedule for the first game or the first four games of the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs, the Hurricanes and the Washington Capitals. My guess, and I'm just trying to play this out, the reason why we haven't heard yet, is that we have a game 6 tonight between Winnipeg and St. Louis. In St. Louis, Jets have a 3-2 series lead. If that becomes a game 7, that game would be Sunday. That would be the only game scheduled for Sunday. We only have one game scheduled for tomorrow, and that is Colorado and Dallas. That is a game 7 in Dallas. My guess is that the playoffs are likely going to have two games on Sunday. And it will either be 2 games with one of them being an Eastern Conference Game 1 and then St. Louis-Winnipeg Game 7. And I think Carolina-Washington stands a fair chance of being that game. Or if there is no Game 7, we may have a Game 1 in the West and a Game 1 in the East. And in that case, I actually think the Eastern game would be Toronto and Florida, and that would be the night game. And we would be more likely to see, if there is no Game 7, Winnipeg and Colorado or Dallas. No, that wouldn't be that. We wouldn't have that. I'm sorry. You could have Edmonton and Vegas start us off at, say, 5 o'clock Sunday. Edmonton, it was done yesterday, so was Vegas. So those were Thursday. We could have those 2 teams start Sunday. Again, maybe who knows what's going to happen. But I think therein lies the problem with all of this, is that we just don't know. We don't know. Here's what we do know about the Hurricanes. Frederik Andersen back on the ice. Eric Robinson wasn't feeling well, so he didn't practice today. Sebastian Aho took a personal day. He took PTO. I like that. Personal holiday. You can do what you like. And that's all good. But so otherwise, nobody is expecting Aho to not play. His spot in the lineup was taken by Jack Roslovic. I promise you this, that if Aho doesn't play, I don't think Roslovic would be the number 1 center. They would figure something else out, but I don't believe it would be Roslovic. And Tyson Jost just subbed in for Eric Robinson. That would be a more seamless fit. It's probably where Jost would play if he drew into the lineup. But I'm sure Carolina will be fine. The last we saw of Sebastian Aho, he was scoring 2 goals and having his 3rd straight multi-point game in the playoffs. On the low, Aho 8 points in the 5-game series win over the Devils. And he is now over, I believe, a point or at a point per game in his playoff career. Sebastian Aho's playoff career has been pretty doggone good for people that do not respect it. And there are a ton of people that do not, even fans, who do not respect what Aho has done in the postseason. He has never been a player that was, for an entire season, at never got 100 points, never got 90 points. 89 is his season high. So he has never been one of those players, not been a McKinnon, Kucherov type guy. But what he does, goes out and produces, and he plays well. And I thought he had a dynamite series against the Devils, and it was good to see Andrei Svechnikov play the way he played. All right, Dick Girardi, for 4 decades, 5 decades, has covered the sport of kings, horse racing, and he joins us on the Adam Gold Show. Sir, journalism is not dead. Tell us why journalism reigns supreme tomorrow.
Adam, how can I not love journalism, right?
Right.
I mean, serious.
It's your gig.
It's my turn, right? We got, not only do we have journalism tomorrow, we have publishers. So it's like a newspaper gig. I think newspapers are making a comeback, right, tomorrow in the Derby. And it's only a mere 4 decades, right? I got into it like 1984, 85, into the business, but it's all good. Look, beyond the name, which is obviously cool for those of us who love the business, this is a really good horse. He's a deserving favorite. He's 3.5 to 1 in the early betting, and he's won 4 straight races. I thought his 2 races in California were by far the 2 best preps for the Derby. Each of them in its own right was really, really good. The trainer is not a big national name, Michael McCarthy, but he's won some big races. People in the business know him, and he's prepared this horse perfectly. So I feel more confident about this horse in the Derby than any horse since Justify in 2018. There's some years you like a horse, but you're going, hey, I'm not sure about this. I feel really confident this horse is going to run great tomorrow.
Do you feel confident that everybody's playing for second?
I do. I think he's winning it, and I'm going to give out an exacta to all my loyal listeners out there in Carolina. I like an 8-9 exacta. That's journalism over Burnham Square. And Adam, I know you love these stuff. I'm going to give you a prop. At betonline.ag. You love these props.
Yeah.
I got dozens of them. My favorite one is the winning margin, over a length and a half or under. Well, I think journalism is going to win big, so I'm going to take the over. It's basically a 50-50 proposition. And the good news is on that bet, let's say I'm wrong. Well, somebody's going to win the race if journalism does it, right? There's going to be a winner, and that winner might still win by more than a length and a half, so you get other opportunities if I'm wrong about journalism. But I think he's going to win by 5. I just think he's going to crush this field. The only thing that concerns me is the weather, but there's nothing you can do about it. You have no idea how it's going to affect which horses. I wouldn't be concerned about it. I could do without it. I'd rather just have a fast track, but the weather is iffy. But yeah, 8-9 exacta. I love it. And take that prop at Bet Online.
All right. We have a couple more minutes with Dick Girardi, who says 4 decades, even though if you started covering in the 80s, you have covered in 5 decades. So technically,
that's fair. You're right, Adam.
That's how we do it on resumes, sir.
Fair enough.
Luxor Cafe. I've heard that touted. As a matter of fact, somebody just told me that like 2 minutes ago. Luxor Cafe, your thoughts on that horse?
Son of American Pharaoh, the 2015 Triple Crown winner, thus the name American Pharaoh, Luxor,
nice.
The hotel in Vegas,
yes.
right, with the pyramids and all that. This is the Japanese horse. They have 2 in this race, the Daytona horse and Luxor Cafe. Admire Daytona. Luxor Cafe is the better of the 2. Japan is going to win the Derby soon. It could be this year. They are serious about horse racing. They had the Forever Young ran the great third last year. You could make a case he was the best horse in the race. He got impeded in the stretch. I don't think Luxor Cafe is quite of that caliber. And in doing some research, in his race 2 races back, his mile time that night was 2 seconds slower than some of the best horses in Japan ran. If it was a second slower, I think he can win the Derby, but 2 seconds is a little much for me. So I'm going to try to beat Luxor Cafe. But again, the Japanese, they're very sharp. They know exactly what they're doing. They love the sport, and they're really good at it.
All right, final thing for Dick Girardi. We already have journalism by 5, is what you said.
That's right.
The auxiliary gate, the outer gate. Is that a deal breaker for you, or does the post position not really matter, or does it matter based on who the horse is?
Yeah, definitely based on who the horse is. Now, it's interesting. Since 2020, Churchill Downs commissioned a 20-stall starting gate. It used to be 14 in one and then 6 in the other. So there was that auxiliary gate that you're talking about. And it's fascinating that auxiliary gate was producing a lot of Derby winners. Part of it is because, like, some of the best horses were out there. Smarty Jones was out there. Big Brown was out there. American Pharaoh was out in that auxiliary gate. So I kind of like the high numbers because it takes you away from the chaotic
traffic
run. Right, the traffic, right? You're further outside. Let's say you're the 10 and the 9 turns right and the 11 turns left out of the gate. You got a problem, right? Whereas if you're further out, there's just less chances of that happening, and you get further behind and eliminated. So I don't have a problem with the high numbers at all.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to it. It's always a spectacle. I hope you have a good hat. Dick Girardi has covered the sport in 5 different decades.
There you go.
I appreciate your time. I know we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Sounds good, Adam. Thanks so much.
Take care. Dick Girardi here on the Adam Gold Show. We watch it all. We watch it every year. It is the fastest 2 minutes in sports, even though 2 minutes is the same length of time, no matter what you're doing. Except it's longer if you're on the stair machine. 2 minutes on the stair machine is way longer than 2 minutes watching.
Or doing a plank. Oh.
All right. Happy Friday to you.
Yes.
Victoria. I'm Adam. See you Monday.
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.